What's good, kids? What's going on? Sandman here. Last day. Division farming. Let's get it on. So you can see we're just running some bullshit. Just some kill a bunch of bad guys shit. Usual striker, not major. Oh yeah, I wanted to turn volume. So I noticed my volume settings are kind of crazy right now on the videos. So we're gonna just chunk all this shit way down. Maybe that'll help. That's still loud as fuck. Alright. Sound effects, right? So let's go to 25. Let's see. That's a little better. It's not quite as overpowering. Alright. Last day of the global event. Not that there's any point to it now, but... Oh. Alright, where do we even want to start, man? Where are the dailies? What are the dailies? Daily assignments. Daily missions. There we go. Ew, Warring Gate. Wow. You gotta make these where you could do them on challenging, because doing a hard is just a waste of time. What do you get for even completing those? Yeah, 18,000, 150 GE credits. And a 207 equipment piece. So dailies aren't even really worth doing. I'm not even gonna worry about that. I don't even know what to do. I didn't really think this through. I guess we'll knock out Warring Gate. It's a daily, and it's challenging, so. Oh, goodness. We'll have to see how bad I play. I've been playing the shit out of Destiny lately, so my controls are going to be all weird and different and not to mention
okay, Agent.
Kind of a goofy
assuming the JTF squad's all dead, because, let's face it, cool we getting. So, let's worry about the living here.
Yeah.
You need to get those Rikers out of the building and away
I buffed
from my
this
generator.
Come on, JTF. Always fucking me.
beast,
Every
and they're
chance
under a
they
lot
get,
of
the
pressure.
GTF fuck you. Like, just run right in front of your bullets so you don't hit nobody. Come on with that bullshit.
Come on, don't let it up.
You're not starting out real good. Doing some bullshit on me. Dude, what? And then I'm stuck.
Better pull that trigger.
I buffed the Hungry Hog. Like, not much. I gave it like a couple hundred extra damage on the, God damn, that dude's got an aim. Like, his ability to just chunk grenades, like, right on top of you. It's nuts. Anyway. No fucking way! How does he hit me with a grenade from way the fuck over there? Oh, okay. Now, what?
You ain't gonna last for long.
You can't be doing that, Division. My entire gear set is set on getting fucking stacks. And every time they make a guy, like, glitch out and shit like that, where he's running in one direction and suddenly just disappears, it means all those shots that I just fired, none of them hit for stacks. I've started paying attention to that, and that's what's happening. Like, a lot of times I'll be like, I'm nailing them, why don't I have any stacks? That's why. It's because the game's, like, glitchy. And, oh my god, I'm done with this. I'm done with this! And all of a sudden they just sit shotgunners. Like, they were sitting back, fucking trying to get me to waste stacks before. Should bullshit. Oh, sorry guys. Fucking Division kind of put me in a bad, or Division. Destiny kind of put me in a bad mood.
Good.
I was gonna do a live stream for Destiny and I ended up making a rant video.
Told us we could go our own way.
I'm just so
Now
fed
the
up with that
man's
game.
coming back here to shut us down, to lock us back up. You want to die in a cell?
Not that this one's that
You wanna
much
let them
better,
do what
but
they
at
want?
least,
Well,
you
I
know,
ain't playing that game. They don't get to take nothing
they've
from me,
decided
you
where
hear
they're
me?
gonna suck,
But
and
me,
like they're just
I'm
gonna
gonna
stay
take it
there.
all away from
Destiny is
them.
still claiming that
You
they're
all
not.
with me?
Baba Garouche, Marouche, 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 Barouche. See, like he's fucking sliding across the ground and shit. Like, come on. Make no mistake, you're gonna do the same shit you always do. You're gonna try the same dumb shit you always do. This isn't a game based on AI.
The explosives are set. We can blow the generators as soon as you give the word. The company's coming. We got gunfire at the front gate. Okay.
Diddy dum diddy dum dum bum 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 bum. Whoops. Really? Like he just ran right through that shit. That was nice.
These assholes got a death wish.
That's
You know how to
badass.
handle explosive drama. The slipper in your shade text will guide you right to them.
Can I get some stacks? This is with 100 stacks. This is with double damage.
Might as well party now.
That feels like garbage.
I'm thinking
And
this place might be real popular with the JTF.
yeah, you know what?
But you think we're just gonna hand them back?
I've been looking at it and I'm paying attention to it, and fuck this hungry hog, man. Like it's nice and you can take out big groups of enemies, but the damage is just garbage. Like it's just garbage, and something's wrong with it where I don't get stacks. Like my stacks, even when I get them, they're not healing. Like it just feels weird. And I think it's because you're firing so long without any break that the game's trying to keep up, and it screws stuff up. I mean, I'm guessing. I don't fucking know. I know it doesn't feel right. But then again, my striker has not been healing very well for a while now. And I don't know if they nerfed it or what.
Hey, I got something new right here for you.
But let's go with the meta. Let's see what happens. Or my meta. It's what I consider the meta. What should be the meta. I gotta find... I think that's it. Self-preserved, deadly, vicious. And then I should have another one. Predatory, self-preserved, and vicious. There we go. See, that's the only thing I worry about is look how much low that damage is. And they're the same level weapon. And you're talking $2 grand in damage. I don't know, man. That's not even really... That's crazy. Higher rate of fire and that much higher damage. I don't think I can sub that out. But I need the self-preserved. Fuck it, I'm running it. I don't even care. We're gonna run it. Oops. Alright, so this one is... I just want to compare these two. See, there's no predatory on that, so that's not going to work. So that's going to be the primary, and then...
Your attention, please. Dr. Ellis will be continuing his lecture series this evening at 1900 hours
Oops. The vicious frozen. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, okay. You know what I didn't think about? Let me check something real quick. That would have assault rifle. Damn, lose a lot of armor if I do that.
Agent, I got something for you.
I need to re-roll these gloves anyways, so let's hope I have enough money to do so, which I doubt I do. Probably have to sell some shit or something. Hell no, I don't. God damn, I need 30 grand. Do I have any? Did I pick up anything? One thing. I doubt that's gonna do it. Let's see if I got anything else in here I can just get rid of. I think I tossed some crap in here before anyways, so I see something that's not locked. Or did I already clear it out? I may have already cleaned it out. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I can sell these pieces of shit.
Agent, let's talk.
Now I know some of these are really good, but I've actually got copies of all this shit, so. Alright. That should give us enough money to get some, either SMG or assault rifle. I'll take either. That way at least we have a boost to that weapon. This isn't trying to be the perfect setup. I'm just trying to get myself back to my beginnings, man. Whoa, what the fuck? I thought I was only like 30 grand short. What the fuck?
Hey, I got something new right here for you.
I feel like I just lost money or something. What the hell?
Your attention, please. Sporting goods equipment has been recovered and will be made available by the
Jesus
end of the
Christ.
week. All civilians are encouraged to participate in healthy
Let me just run
exercise
this
and
shit.
activities.
Fuck it, I'll take the hit. Alright. Well, shit, if this is an assault rifle, I might as well just run assault rifles. Say fuck it. Where's my other
Just
one?
who I was looking for.
I had two of these that I could use. Dude, where's my other one? What the fuck, man? Where's my other... I had two that I could use for this setup. Where the fuck is my other one? I haven't used any of my other characters. This is bullshit, man. I knew this was happening. I'm losing fucking gear. It's in there 1 minute, and then the next minute it's gone. It's just not there. What the fuck, man? This is some horse shit right here. I'm not happy about this. What the fuck? I know it was in there. I mean, you can go watch a video from like just a couple days ago. I set that same build up. God damn, man. What the hell was I just doing? My fucking brain's going blank now, man. This is game after game, man. Between Destiny and this game screwing up. I'm about to be done with video games. We're going to turn this into some kind of other channel. Like, it's just bad after bad. And what the hell was I doing? Oh, yeah, I need the Centurion. Which, I bet my Centurion's garbage. Yeah, it is. Of course it is.
Agent, let's talk. Got something new.
Oh, well. I don't even know why I want to run that, because I never use it, but, you know. So we're not going for headshots, we're going for crit. I believe this is set up for crit. Forgiving, predatory, and responsive. Actually, it's not set up for anything, so... I don't remember how I had this thing set up. I'm just gonna go with it. $276. That's kind of shitty. Should be enough though. Yeah, we should be good here. Yep. Damn, that house is that much more powerful. How does that... That doesn't even make any sense. Liberator's same rate of fire, over 1,000 more damage, yet the DPS is like damn near the fucking same. That house does not make any sense. I don't get that weapon at all. But, alright, whatever. Until we can get enough so we can re-roll our gloves again. Get rid of this crap. Alright. Should be good to at least run for a little bit. Hopefully that works. Alright. Does this have enemy armor? Exotic. Boy, I'm all over the place. I got reload here. Enemy armor there. Exotic there. I should have exotic here. Okay, so that's why I did that, so I'd have the 20%. Screw it. We'll just go see how it works.
Hey, Agent, let's have a chat. I got something you'll be interested in.
Oops. Okay, so we go. Warren Gate, right? Wasn't that what the daily is?
I've got no idea.
Yeah. Bust it out.
Okay, Agent.
Sure
Assuming the JTF squad's all dead, because, let's face it, cool we're getting. So, let's worry about the living here.
That hungry hog.
You need to get those Rikers out of the building and away from my generators. Be careful. They're temperamental obese, and they're under a lot of pressure.
Hold on.
Hey, no
Oh, that was right. Yeah, this thing jerks back and forth left and right. That's what the problem is. I think that's why I quit running it in the first place. Is even with stability, like stability only messes with the up and down stuff. So like, come on. So this left or right shit, I don't know how to solve. This is one of those parts of the game I have no idea why it is the way it is. Anything else with twice this many enemies I could just face tank. But for some reason right here I don't heal. So like, if I run out there I just die. They'll just kill me right away. Oh my god. I may not be able to use this either because I'm not getting any stacks here. Hey, what's up, 016? I'm seeing my... Oh, fucking grenade. Really? Like, what the hell? It won't even let me do anything. Alright, let's... Oh, I need stacks if I'm gonna heal. Otherwise you just don't heal at all. Okay, literally, that was red. Why did I not get any hits right there? I think I'm losing stats faster than I am. Okay, 91 stacks. This should definitely... I'll have to read your stuff in a minute now. Oh my god, I'm running. I'm thinking of coming back to Division. Is the game dead, or is there a brief amount of players that still play? All I can give you is opinion, dude. And my opinion would be, it depends on what type of player you are. If you're a PvP guy, like you like Last Stand and all that kind of junk, then come on back. You'll love it. Because that's pretty much what everybody's doing. If you're a PvE guy like me, or you just like running the missions, I'm not trying to play against other players and do all that crap, it's dead. It's dead. Like, this is kind of, the only reason I'm even playing right now is because Destiny pissed me off. We're on like 1.8, you know, we've had all the DLCs and all that shit, and they literally have not put a new mission in this game since 1.3.
Y'all hear this?
So,
I got something to say.
they really haven't done anything for the solo player.
Told us we could go our own way.
Okay, yeah, if you like PvE, then unless you just, the only reason I even still play this game is because I started with the alpha back before the beta was even released on PC, and so I kind of have almost a devotion to it. But if it weren't for that, I wouldn't even still be playing it. It's got nothing for a PvE player, unless you just haven't played in a really long time, and then I guess you could come in and like try out the new exotics and stuff that came out like however long ago. But the enemies still do stupid shit. They're still crazy overpowered in some areas and weak as hell in others. Do you play Destiny PvP? No, not at all. I do not step foot in the Crucible. Like, every one of my characters, like, I can't complete the game because I don't do any Crucible, and it tries to force you as part of your little path or whatever. But yeah. I have TBI, traumatic brain injury, from a tour in Iraq. And so my response times are like way slow when it comes to PvP stuff, and you mix that with exactly what you're talking about there with the lag and all that, all it is a win. When I play PvP, I can just hear me dropping the whole time. So there's just no point in it. Especially when, like I said, I've been playing since Alpha. Because I used to try to do the PvP. When Last Stand first came out, I tried it. And I got up to like level 5, which is like maybe 7 or 8 games. And I quickly realized that even though I had put thousands of hours into this game, because, I mean, you could still take the 1 off my username and go look me up on TRL for Xbox. I'm still in the top 1% in the world for kills in this game. And so, like, I put in thousands of hours in this game, had crazy strong builds. Like, I was one of the first people to post videos of soloing, challenging, and all that kind of stuff. And then the PvP stuff came, and my beast-ass builds that I'd spent thousands of hours building were garbage. They don't do any... I can take the build I'm doing right now that I can just face tank challenging with. If I take this in PvP, I'll get one-shotted. I won't stand a chance. And that's why it's like, it's just, you spend all that time building to find out that your build, you have to start all over.
Great. These assholes got a death wish.
That.
You know how to handle explosives, right? The sniffer in your shade tech should guide you right to them.
Looks like we got us some brand new gigs, people. Might as well party down while we can. I'm thinking this place might be real popular with the JTF.
Yeah, I'm really thinking about
You think we're just gonna hand them back the keys to the city? Wrong! Like show 'em who's really in charge.
I mean, I know when I was running the SMGs, I was running into range problems, but
Y'all still
I
breathing?
still think dealing with that.
Well,
was
shit, that's right. You can't die
Jumping all
yet.
over.
He's here with the good guys. One's in the white hats. But this ain't your movie, cowboys. This is our show now. See, this ain't about being on one side or the other. It's about power. You need it, we got it.
What the? Did he just like spawn on me?
One big
What
boom,
the fuck?
and that's all she wrote. Whole city's going back to the Dark Ages. Because if we can't have it, nobody can. Lorraine, she's right on this. Ain't nothing out here but what you take of yourself. We took it and we ain't giving it back. Because we'll flip the table if you try. With a nice, big boom.
Oh, I see.
You leave us be. Everybody
Sitting
stays
behind.
nice and warm tonight. You push this, and everybody dies in the dark.
Gonna end you. Hell is that?
The one thing I did forget to mention, have you played the new God of War? No. I didn't like the first God of War, man. I didn't like any of them. I don't like those games where you like play through a level, there's no like, it's not really open world, you're just kind of playing through level after level, trying to like, just button mashing. Like, I just can't do that stuff. I heard it's really good. I mean, don't get me wrong, the new God of War has gotten crazy good reviews, but it's just, I'm not even going to waste the money. Because it's not the type of game I'm really into. And I guarantee you there's a million people streaming it, so like, it's probably, you know, there's no like, oh, but you could stream it. Like, there's tons of other people. Ugh, I hate this fight. I really don't.
Confirmed. Explosives disarmed.
It's like, I don't get it.
Clear those fuckers out.
You know, this is the exotic
It's
version of the
safe,
Lovac,
ish.
or lightweight
Task an
M4 or
engineering
whatever.
team to do a proper mechanical
And
assessment of the site.
it's actually the but it's not as good. it's not as good as it gold counterpart. Crazy.
Time to tear this place apart. Turn it all up. Smash it all up. Set this place
And
to
if I'm gonna
hole.
die, it's gonna be that
Break
good.
it all, and we're gonna take this
See how good
party
my
straight
stats are
down.
gonna
That doesn't sound good. If they build up enough pressure in the turbine system, yeah, it'll blow the whole
hold. Okay, I have
the whole
almost 100
block.
stacks. This is
Okay.
bullshit.
These
I
old
do have
power
100
plants have
stacks.
backups.
And
Manual
I have
safety
videos
valves before
earlier
everything
from
was
me
automated.
face
Find
tanking
those
with
valves and
Stryker
open them up to
just
release the pressure.
annihilating people with
Now
nukes
would be
all
good.
around me. Yeah, they must have nerfed Stryker. They have to, because that's clearly not healing me anywhere near enough. Uncool. What's your thoughts on Kanye West saying slavery was a choice? You know what, man? I really don't have an opinion on it, so to speak. I'm the type of person, like, I believe everybody should have equal rights. I don't believe anybody should be judged differently based on the color of their skin or any of that kind of stuff. But I'm also a Southern Texaner, and I do believe that there's a difference between black and white people. Not a better or worse difference, there's just a fucking difference, you know. On average, a black person can run faster and jump higher than a white guy. That's just fact. It's not a racist thing, it's just fact. And there's a lot of stuff like that that's just on average, you know. So when he starts talking about, like, slavery and if it was a choice and all this kind of stuff, to me, that's a black thing. If black people want to judge him for that, go right ahead. I'm a white dude. I got no business judging Kanye on what he says about black people. So, I never liked Kanye's music. I'm not a fan of what's-her-face, that chick he took the mic from. But when he did that, I was like, oh, okay, you have no respect for the people around you. You just do what you want. And I just kind of was like, fuck that dude. Anybody like that, like most rappers kind of are like that. And the minute they start like calling themselves
What did I
soldiers
just say?
and all this kind of, I'm like,
Only
okay,
so long
you
the
ain't
generators can
anything
deal with a
close to
pressure
that.
filter. You need to vent it. power
so
station and a chunk of Stuytown gets wiped off the map.
Sorry, that's sort of a rant, but long story short, I ain't got no respect for him, so I really don't care what he says. These are people that have not proven themselves to even deserve to have any real say past their base vote. Why would you listen to them? Just my thoughts. Oh shit, I got turned around. Where's the bird? Where did I miss it? Did I hit this one? Oh no, I got all three. Okay. I'm about to screw myself here. Dude, how are they already all up on me? They're already all up on me. This is crazy. They were like down below me, and suddenly they were all around me. That was nuts. That's... Hi, I'm a new sub. What's going on, Sergio? Thanks for subbing, man. Appreciate it. I'm getting my ass kicked. I promise you, I usually don't play this badly. Like, you like Halo? I never have played Halo. I have never played Halo. I was never into first-person shooters when I was younger. And, you know, back when, like, Call of Duty first got big and all that kind of stuff. I really didn't get into shooters at all until Division. So, yeah, I just really never played it. I actually did buy Halo Guardians back when it was, like, on Xbox. The big Master or whatever version. And I never even started it. Like... just never played it. I think it was one of those times when I got bought a couple games at one time, and it was one of them. Are you getting the new Black Ops? Oh yeah. I mean, you kind of have to buy the new ones. I don't play the old ones anymore. Like, World War II really pissed me off. They did a horrible job on that game. Like, not the game itself, but the way they set up their servers, the way they set up their multiplayer, and then the fact that they give solo players nothing. Just because the entire game's based on cosmetics, which they want you to buy. So they don't want to give solo players anything, because if they give solo players stuff to do, why would we pay for stuff? Like, if we could just go earn it. World War II is so boring. Yeah, it is. It really is. It's not to mention the way the servers are set up.
But if you want to stay not dead, I really think about hitting those safety valves.
You can't win. And I'm lagging or something here because I'm not healing at all. Like, my heal is running super fucking slow. But no, I did a video on that actually, on World War II, on what was up with their servers, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm a tech guy, I know how this works, and it wasn't even that. Like, I honestly, like, had like not an interview so much, it was like a conversation with a guy who he was playing normal team deathmatch, and he went 72 and like 5. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, how are you even doing that? You've got to be cheating. Like, you have to be using bots or something. And it turns out the entire thing... Well, he's not in the interview. I just talk about the fact that I talked to him and what he told me. And what it turns out is this guy... The reason he's able to do that is not because he's some beast Call of Duty player. He told me flat out, he's like, I'm not that good. He said, but he has over a gig download speed and over 900 megabyte upload. Not bit, like most of us. He has 900 megabytes. So in other words, he has 0 packet loss. And he said for him, what it looks like when he plays that game, he said people will just walk out and stand in front of him. And just stand there while he shoots them, and then all of a sudden they'll start trying to fire back. And it's because their servers are so lagged out. And some of these people, the internet is so separated. Like, some people have insane internet compared to those of us. Like me, I'm paying $150 a month for my internet, right? And I'm supposed to get 150 downloads and 7.5 uploads, the fastest they offer. And I'm on cable modem. I'm not on, like, Dish or anything like that. And that's the fastest offered in this area. Yet if I go to Dallas or Fort Worth, which is like just a couple hours away, I can get over a gig download. And so when you consider there's no auto lag on their servers, it only lags like base, which means your lag is going to auto happen because of their servers, and then also the any players who have internet like that guy does are going to just destroy you. So yeah, there's no fair play. Wait, you live in Texas? Oh yeah. Born and bred, man. But yeah, so that's the deal with Call of Duty, and I think all of their games are actually set up that way. That's part of the reason that they tried to do the skill-based matchmaking with World War II. It's another thing that completely failed because skills don't matter if you go up against a guy who's got internet that's like 1,000 times better than yours. And they could fix it. It's that auto lag I was talking about. What was it? I think it was Halo that actually did that. They put an auto lag in their servers. How do you feel about Dallas environment? I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot stick, man. Dallas is gangbanger central right now, like majorly. Looking to move out. Well, yeah, California's got to be worse. But if you're moving to Texas, man, I would move to. Honestly, at this point, no matter where you're living, I'd go to the country. Go to the fucking country. Like, because I was a history major in college, and all I will say is that history repeats itself in unusual ways. And right now, there is a major separation in this country right now. And it's not really so much a race thing, it's just two completely different types of view on how people should live. And it's really, the country's so split down the middle right now, and people are just flat out taking sides, that if I were you, if I'm moving somewhere and you got a choice, I'm going country all the way. Because when shit does pop off, it's going to pop off in the inner cities. And it's going to be really bad, really fast. And I don't think the people involved in this kind of stuff have thought it through, what's going to happen. We are very close, and I know a lot of people think I'm crazy for saying this, but I truly believe as a history major, looking at the way history does, the way it repeats itself, we are about to be in another civil war. I don't know if it'll be the same as the last one, where it's all-out warfare, or if it's going to be what I think's probably going to happen. It's going to happen with the gun laws. And as soon as they hit, I'm telling you right now, I can't speak for everybody, but I can tell you right now, I have a shotgun. That's the only gun I have a shotgun. I live out in the country. We have Panthers out here, you know? The day the government shows up to my front door and tells me you have to give me your shotgun is the day they can get my bullets. And here's the thing too, I'm a disabled veteran with mental disabilities. I'm not even allowed to have any automatic weapons or anything like that. I'm not allowed to. I can't have a concealed carry or anything like that. But you ain't getting my shotgun. That's my one thing I have to protect myself from fucking cats, from giant cats that we have out here.
Well,
there's a legitimate reason for me to have that weapon.
Siren stopped,
so the minute they start going to every house, and I'm like not really violent at all. So compared to other people that live around me, and I live in Redneckville, like with bikers and all that kind of stuff. You show up to my house, or you show up to any of these guys. I mean, my neighbor 2 houses over has automatic M16s. I hear them out there almost, well, at least once a week, brrr, brrr, out in the backyard. Because I live out of city limits, so you can come out and shoot all you want out in your yard. It's no big deal. You go to that guy's house, he's a biker dude, and he's colored. So he's not colored, I don't mean black or white, I mean colored as in he's a biker, he's wearing colors. Go to his house and tell him he's got to give up his fucking M16. I doubt it. I doubt it. So yeah, and that's what, like, if you watch Fox News, that's what people are talking about. These people, they keep putting pretty blonde girls on there to do it, but that's what they're trying to say when they're like, yeah, we dare you to go knock on some of these Southerners' doors and say we're going to take your guns. Good luck. I mean, you could say, well, it's the law. You could say this or that, but when you get bullets in you, laws don't matter. So yeah, that's what I think. And I'm sorry I kind of went on a rant there, bud. But yeah, that's kind of what I think about that whole thing is both sides are tiptoeing on another civil war very easily. And the problem is one side's not going to be armed. It's the same thing as is Texas racist? No, it's really not. It's just like anywhere else. Look, dude, I was in the military for almost 10, well, actually right about 10 years. I've been to over 30 different countries. I've been to 46 of the states. And I'm telling you right now, every state's exactly the same. You're going to have some people that are racist, some people that aren't. It's that simple.
James, you sound like a guy who'd already got one. Babies are so hungry now.
The funny thing is, like, in my experience, because I've grown up in southern Texas around, like, a lot of bikers and RC clubs and stuff like that. They're, like, the most unracist people I've ever met in my life. It seems like the more a person looks like they should be racist, the less they usually are. It's usually the most racist people I meet, and this is living in South Texas, living out in the country, is old white women. No. Actually, you want to know the most racist state is Illinois. Illinois, without a doubt, is the most racist place in the world. And although I will flat out say that in almost probably every other state, it's going to have the majority of racist people are white people. In Illinois, it's the black people. Black people are racist as fuck in Illinois. I lived in Burlington, Wisconsin for a while, and my dad was an iron worker in Illinois, in the north side of Illinois. And so we would go down there and, like, stay for like the weekends and stuff, because, like, he didn't want to drive all the way back and then have to set up to come back to work and all this kind of stuff. So we would drive down there and spend the weekends down in Illinois. And yeah, Illinois has the most racist black people I've ever met in my life. Like, they'll flat out tell you, they're like, you fucking white piece of shit, like, get the fuck out of here, and all. Like, it's like, god damn, dude, okay. It's pretty crazy. And I don't mean that to sound like a racist statement. I'm not trying to call black people racist or nothing like that. I'm just saying that's where I was when that shit went down like that. I'm scared to go to Texas. No, man. Texas has literally some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. It really does. Because you got to remember, we have the poorest people and the richest people in the entire world live here in Texas. I'm mixed, black and white. Dude, you're going to be just fine. You got to remember, like I was saying, the most racist people in Texas are old white women. So, like, your younger people, or, like, especially real young, are on these new age kicks where it's like, especially if they're white, if you have any black in you at all, they're like, oh, I want to hang out with you, and, you know, because they want to have a black friend. Yeah, my look at this. I'm not kidding at all. What the hell, Striker? These are just reds. They're freaking reds. I think it's just lagging out or something. Because my striker's it's not working. Do you stream Fortnite? No, I do not. I don't like cartoony games. Like, that was my biggest problem with Borderlands, was I thought Borderlands was probably one of the best setups for a game I'd seen in a long time. But it's just so damn cartoony. I couldn't do it, shooting monsters and stuff. Like, Destiny verges on that for me. So, yeah. No, I don't jump on the bandwagons. Like, my channel, you'll notice I have no sponsors. I do reviews of stuff, like I did reviews of my Scuff and stuff, but, like, my reviews are straight up, dude. I curse in them and all. I'm not trying to get sponsors. I'm a retired military vet, man. I literally get paid to sit on my ass. I don't need sponsors. I don't need any of that crap. So I don't play, like, the games just because everybody's playing them, or you know, do reviews and lie about stuff just to get sponsors, which those Optic Gaming guys, I'm flat out calling those pieces of shit out. Those Optic Gaming guys who were like, oh, the Scuff Impact, it's the brand new Scuff and it's so great. Go watch my Scuff reviews. Like, they totally lied through their teeth, without question. And that's really sad, because you would think, like, young gamers, we've kind of grown up in the getting screwed by games era. You would think they'd be better than that, but they're not. They jumped right on board. And I don't know what I'm doing here, man. I'm just kind of running around while I'm talking to you guys. I rarely, like, and I don't mean this bad in any way, but I rarely talk to my subs. Like, I rarely even talk while I'm streaming. So this is kind of like a first for me to, like, be like, what's up, y'all? Let's have a conversation.
Good luck out there.
Tell you what, though, if I was going to say, like, the best place to move out of all the places I've been, when it comes to the nicest people, now, I will say they're the weirdest people. Like, if anybody's inbred, you would swear it was them. But, and I'm only saying that as a joke, I don't know, but the nicest people I've ever met was in South Carolina. South Carolina, I lived in Cheraw, South Carolina for about 2 years. And I'm telling you, those people are awesome. We broke down coming into town, coming into Cheraw, South Carolina. We were pulling into a gas station, the car was overheating, all that good stuff. This truck, this big monster truck looking thing of redneck dudes, like cowboy boots and hats and big lips full of dip and all this shit, get out, right? And I'm from Texas, and I'm even like, wow, all right, dude. Like, you guys are putting it out there. Big old truck pulled up, and we're figuring, shit, you know, somebody's gonna say something or whatever it may. Dude, this big old truck of rough-ass dudes pulled up and was like, can we help you? And like, they helped my dad fix the car and, like, all this stuff. Like, they were just some of the nicest people. And then when I lived out there, too, like, it seemed like the biggest scary-looking dudes were, like, the nicest guys every time, man. Like, everybody was just real cool. So if I was gonna say the nicest people, sure, was South Carolina. And that's a very mixed area, like black and white, Mexican, all of them. And if y'all will forgive me for 1 second, I'm like shivering, I'm freezing my ass off. I gotta go turn my AC down. I'll be right back. Jesus, that thing was freezing me out. Alright. Let's see. You know what? I think after doing that, we could probably go buy a crate. Hey, look at that. We can buy a crate. I hadn't really been too crazy, like, focused on farming these crates, because I've tested every gear set except for Predator. And none of them even come close to Striker when it's working. Truth be told, I'm in Memphis and don't have a problem with respectful black people, but there's a difference between, yep, well, I think they would agree with that. Some might say I'm racist. Dude, you know what I've found is that most of the time, now this isn't every time, there are of course people out there who really are just flat out
entering
racist.
a safe area.
But most of the time when you hear somebody yelling racism, it's because that person is racist. And so they're looking for like little things like, oh, you can't talk about the fact that this is different or that's different. It's like, if you got a problem with me talking about it being different, then it's probably fucking different. Don't be racist about it. So it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, with all that said, if you ask me about my military perspective on it, it's completely different. And that's from actually having, you know, like I said, I served in Al-Hol, Iraq, and I don't know. We had a lot of people go AWOL right before we deployed. All I'm going to say is there were no Mexicans and there were no white people. And it was insane. It was like 30 people. It's pretty crazy. So, like I said, my personal view is different than my military view. And my military view, I think a lot of it has to do with background, where you come from, but there were certain types of people who seemed to cower when guns got shot off, like when we got in firefights. Especially when mortars came in, like that just freaked them out. So, and that's just, I don't mean that to be racist, that's just experience, man. That's what I've been through. And then, I can tell you one story. I'll tell you guys a story. You guys will like this. This is a story from my basic training. It's actually how I made it through basic training. I hope you're playing 016. We're not going to have shit talking on my channel. If you're kidding, like, you guys can joke, that's whatever, but let's not start fights.
Check it out.
Oh. Oh yeah, I was going to tell you guys the basic training. Alright, so, and I hope you guys want to hear this, because I'm going to tell it anyway, so. Basic training, I'm in, like, I was in the infantry, right? I was 11 Bravo. So, like, I'm at Fort Benning, Georgia. It's, like, 40 degrees in March. It's cold as hell, and it's raining. And we're out at FTX, which is a field training exercise. And we're on a patrol. Drill sergeant threw a CS grenade and is like, we have to all get out and get in 360 security. So we all get down, we get in 360 security, and I just happen to get down in a puddle. Like, literally, my entire, like, ass, my dick, everything covered in water. I'm freezing my butt off. Well, the drill sergeants have a rule, once you're down, you're down. And if you go to get back up, they'll literally just step on you. Or, you know, smoke you or whatever it may be. And so I'm down, like I'm in this puddle. And I literally got to a point where I was like, yep, I'm through. I'm going to quit basic training. I'm going to leave right now. And I was like in the push-up position, like ready to get up. And I heard crying. I literally heard crying. And I look over, and this little black dude who was like the toughest guy in basic training. He was a little bitty guy, but he was real big, like his arms and stuff. Like he was all built up. I look over, and this dude was not only crying, but this ghetto-ass, like, tough, don't fuck with me, gangbanger black guy was literally calling for his mama. Like, I swear to God, he was crying, and he was like, I want my mom. I couldn't help it. I started laughing. And so, like at that point, like, something clicked in my brain, and I was like, oh, well, you pussy. And he's the reason I made it through basic training, because if I hadn't seen that dude's weakness, I wouldn't have found my own strength to, like, push myself through it. So you could take that for what it is. that was one of my main experiences with black guys in the military. Was he was acting like a pussy, and it got me through it. Then again, I should tell an equal opposite. The two best officers, besides my commander, Colonel Moraski, who was just an insane person, the two best officers we had in the military, one of them which actually saved my life in my unit, were both black guys, Captain Bowers, Captain Johnson. One was an MI guy, and then one was my actual battle captain. And Captain Bowers, my battle captain, like, that dude saved my life. Like, he was a great dude. And he was actually an ex-gangbanger. He had tattoos that they had, like, burned off and stuff because they were gang-related and all this kind of stuff. Like, it's pretty crazy, so... I don't know, man. I don't think skin color really has that much to do with it. I think it's I don't even think it's who you are so much as your background. It's where you come from. Because I have a mental disability. Yeah, they're not going to let you in. Guarantee it.
Most people never will.
I don't mean that to sound mean, dude, but no, they won't. Like, let me put it this way. I was like a straight A student. I was a Weeblo Scout. Like, I went through Cub Scouts and all that shit when I was a kid. I had scholarships to play college basketball and all this kind of stuff. When I went in the military, when I was 16, I got a possession for marijuana under 2 ounces. They caught me with a joint. I was smoking a joint before I went into school. And the school security found me and called the cops, and they charged me. Like, I got a possession charge for it when I was like 16 years old. I did like 6 months probation and adjudication, right? So it's supposed to be off my record. So that's the only bad thing I had in my history. I went in the military. When I went to MEPS, as soon as they found out that I had that charge, because they do an FBI background check, which literally checks everything you've ever done in your entire life, and it doesn't matter if you've been told your record's sealed, that's bullshit, they're gonna look. And the minute they found that, I had told my recruiter about it, so they were aware, but he hadn't, apparently, I don't know, he hadn't put it on there as like a major thing because it wasn't an actual, like I wasn't actually charged, I was adjudicated. My list of jobs that I was able to do went from literally, I had like a 115 GT and I scored an 80 on the ASVAB, which is like, I thought it was just barely above average. Apparently it's really high compared to the average. It's really stupid compared to the smart people though. But they told me I could do anything in the military. As soon as they found out that I had that possession charge from when I was like 15, my list of jobs went to like 4 things I was allowed to do. So, yeah, if you try to come in with like a mental illness or something, it's not going to happen. They're just going to turn you away at the door. Especially now that they're letting people in with like face tats and stuff like that. Like, they can be very, very choosy.
Let's get back to it, Agent.
Warning. You are now leaving the safe area.
Yeah, pretty much any type of mental disability, they're not going to let you in. I mean, hell, that's why I lost my career, was PTSD. Dysmorphia and aggressive compulsive disorder. I was a loony. Oh, and mild alexithia. Whatever the fuck that is. Yeah, an arson charge. That's a felony, isn't it? I don't know. They're probably not going to want to overlook that. Here's the thing, though, too. Like, most people, I do not recommend the military at all. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't serve. I'm pro-military, of course. But I honestly believe that one of the biggest problems we had in Iraq, especially while deployed, was people who were in the military, who were good people, who were strong enough people to make it through basics, strong enough people to make it through unit training, whatever it may be. But when they actually got to it and got in it, everything just fell to pieces.
You're all gonna pay, as far as I'm concerned.
You deserve this, man. Nice, easy mark.
Oh, they're scattered. Look at that. I don't really want to talk about it. Okay. You don't talk about nothing you don't want to, brother. I am 6'2", and I think right now, probably about 185 pounds. I've lost quite a bit of weight. Smaller than I was. I'm real skinny, though. I'm tall and skinny. Typical infantry. There's no point in running around this stuff. I guess we could go. Let's go. We hadn't done Lexington today. Might as well. Oh.
This is about taking the Rikers out at the knees. There's no one who can replace Lorraine Barrett. She's the one who organized.
Why don't soldiers like being asked if they killed?
They're holding 3 of my people there.
I tell you what I'll do. I'll give you the answer I give when people ask me that question.
All right.
Because it is a horrible question to ask. You should never ask a soldier that. And let me tell you something. If a soldier's bragging about how many people they killed, that's not a soldier. That's a piece of shit. That's how, like, most of us knew that Chris Kyle was a fucking liar. The minute we heard his story, we were like, ah, you're lying. You're lying out your ass. Because he said he had more confirmed kills than any sniper in Army history or whatever it was. Okay, I was an 11 Bravo and my identifier is a B4. I've been through sniper school. That guy's a fucking liar because the number one rule, we do not verify our kills.
Sorry, Captain,
if you're a sniper and you walk up and verify your kill, you are the worst sniper ever. And it goes for anyone who's been in a firefight. Anyone who's been in a firefight, except for those few rare soldiers who probably have like Purple Hearts and shit, who got separated or something like that. When we get in firefights, there's a reason we have call and Jesus, my mind's going blank. I forget what they call it. It's calling out your enemy. So like if we get in a firefight, you don't just start shooting in a direction and hope your buddy figures out what you're shooting at. You call out the enemy. So like we'll say, you know, we got an enemy at 12 o'clock, 3rd story, whatever. Here's the problem, and this is what brings me to my answer. If someone asks me, did you kill anybody in Iraq? I always say, I don't have a fucking clue. Because if I was shooting at them, so were 40 or 50 other soldiers. There's no way to know that it was your bullet. There's no way to know. So that would be my answer to that. And why soldiers don't like being asked that is because those of us that have actually been there, that's not really something. There's a sensation one gets when you realize the first time that you're actually in combat. And if you get that, when you have that sensation, you understand right away. When someone's actively trying to kill you and there's nothing you can do about it, like, it's a different feeling you get. And once you get that feeling, if you have that feeling, if you've had that feeling, you know exactly why soldiers don't like being asked that. So that's I know that's a crappy answer, man, but that's the best I can do. It's just, it's a realization that most people just don't have. And to try and explain it would be a waste of time. So yeah, that mixed with who the hell knows. If I sign up for military and lie that I don't have a mental disability and they find out, could I go to jail or are they just going to send me? It depends, man. I mean, here's the thing. You will sign paperwork that says if you lie about anything, you are subject to criminal prosecution without question. And if it's drugs or violent crimes or anything like that, they will prosecute. They'll come right after you. Especially if you get in the service and then they find out, yeah, you're going to you're going to Leavenworth. Like, that's happening. Because you put everybody in danger when you do stuff like that. That's the other thing you got to ask yourself, man. Forget about whether or not you get in trouble or whether or not you could get in or not. I'll put myself in your situation. I had asthma as a kid, right? But in high school, I ran track, and I literally like ran the asthma out to the point where it just, I never had any issues with it. When I was a kid, it almost killed me. I didn't tell the military about it because asthma is an automatic, no, you can't join the military. And so I didn't tell them. And I got to tell you, the day I went in the CS chamber was like day 2 of basic training, and it scared the shit out of me because they told us flat out, if you had asthma and you lied, you will die in here. And so I honestly thought, there was a part of me that was like, if I go in here, I'm going to die. But I did it, I made it through it, and it wasn't that big a deal. And so especially after that, I knew for sure, like, the whole fact that I'd held that to myself was never going to affect me in my military career. So that's what you got to ask yourself. Don't worry about if you'll get in trouble or anything like that, because if you're signing up for yourself, you're already doing it for the wrong reason anyways. You need to figure out if your whatever disability or whatever it is you're working with, is that going to affect the soldiers around me? Are they going to have to change anything to help me? Am I going to need to ask for a favor? Anything like that, and you've got a problem. Because you have to be able to work. You have to be able to do exactly what they want you to do, when they want you to do it, how they want you to do it. You better be able to deal with it. And they're not going to be nice about it. There is no niceness in combat. The reason they yell at us and all that stuff in basic is so when you get to combat and your NCO goes, "Move your fucking ass, bitch," you go, "Yes, Sergeant," and you move your ass. Is it true women on Navy ships get raped? I have no idea. I would hope not. I would assume so. It happens everywhere. That's just a women-men thing, though. And that's you know, we had our racist talk earlier, like whether or not that stuff was racist. And I try to be very down the middle with that. It's you know, people have their own points of view. It's whatever. When it comes to women in the military, I feel completely different. I feel completely different. It's a no-go. It is a 100% no-go. They do not belong in the military. And I don't give a shit who wants to argue with me about that. I have a blown out right knee that the cartilage is completely ripped in half on because of women in the military. I have 40% hearing loss in my left ear because of women in the military. Both specifically because of women in the military. Because they, for one, couldn't carry their shit to get out of a kill zone. And I had to go back and get it. And then two, we had to pack them into bunkers, into these little cement Connex bunkers when we were taking mortars. And I wasn't able to get all the way into the bunker because the females had to bring their female stuff with them because we didn't know how long we were going to be in there. So they were taking up too much room. And I ended up getting stuck out of the bunker and had a mortar land next to me and blew my eardrum. So both of my like major physical injuries happened because of women in the military. And then not to mention, people can say whatever reason they want for whether it should or shouldn't be, but I'm sorry, if my buddy is bleeding, I'm not taking him out to FTX with me where there's fucking bears and shit. It's not happening. And in the infantry especially, we spend 3-4 months at a time out in the field. So, yeah. That's my vision on that. Alright, where was that? Yeah. We had the conversation with my first sergeant about what the actual reasons were that women weren't allowed to be in the infantry. And that was the actual reason given to us by chain of command. Was it has nothing to do with strength, it has nothing to do with sex or whatever, it's plain and simply bodily functions and the kind of training you do. You do not want to be out in the fucking forest with your buddy bleeding. A bear can smell blood over a mile away. That is 100% fact. And they will come to you. And you may say, "We got guns and shit, why don't you shoot the bear?" Yeah, and then we have the animal people on. They're shooting wild animals, and they're going to be like, "Why were you out there anyway? Female shouldn't be out there." No shit. We are fully aware.
Warning. Incoming hostiles detected.
Don't let them hide like that. Here I go. You're right, people.
I will say the only females I've seen in actual combat, though, were medics. And they just froze up. Like, they get real starry-eyed. Like, that's the main thing I remember is how big their eyes were. Like, we were taking rounds and started getting rockets right over the top of us. And, look back at the medics, because I was sitting there, I was dating one of the medics, actually, so I was at the medics thing, I was talking to all these medics. And, their eyes were just, as soon as those mortars hit, man, I just remember looking back, it was like I was looking at a bunch of bandies. Their eyes were huge, it was just so scared. I was scared too, but I was like, act, you gotta do something, don't just stand there. Pretty scary. I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of examples of why I'm no genius.
lifesaver.
You're a jackass towards women. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not saying women are better or worse than men or anything like that. I'm just telling you my experience. If you think that's me being a jackass towards women, I would venture to ask, have you ever been in combat with them and had your life depend on them? That's all I can say. If you haven't experienced it, what the fuck are you talking about? I've experienced it. Not to mention I'm injured from it, so.
You are now entering a safe area.
Agent, the hostage is being held on the roof. You need to clear it out.
That was actually first day in country. First fucking day in country.
Exiting the safe area.
When you come into Kalsu, you have to go across this big sand area that, like, it's almost like quicksand. It's right outside the main gate. You UH-66 down, you run across this shit with all your gear, and you get inside the gate. Because while you're outside, you're in kill zone. And the females, we have to carry, you're carrying about an 80-pound ruck, about 100 to 150-pound duffel bag, and then your weapon and your primary and secondary weapon systems. And the female could not walk across, literally 2 of them could not physically walk across the sand area or whatever. So I had to go back and actually get them and pick up their stuff. And as I was coming back, when you come out of the sand area, you step on these little crates to get out of it. And when I stepped on the crate, I slipped because I had all their weight on top of me. And my knee literally went right into the corner of one of the pallets. And then Sergeant Major was mad at me. He's like, why are you fucking injured and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, I was trying to carry their stuff. And he was like, why are you carrying their stuff? Why aren't they carrying their stuff? They're soldiers and all this. And I was like, you need to go look. And they couldn't get across. It was flat out. They just weren't physically able. No, I'd be fine with a female president. I don't care about that. It has nothing to do, like I said, with leadership or with, even really with, like an individual's physical ability. It's just, like I said, this isn't my opinion on whether women should be in the military or what happens if you have, all I can say is this is what happened to me, as someone who's actually been through it. Now, if you ask me, like, would you follow a woman into combat? Just as fast as I'll follow a man. But just as slow, too. Because if I don't think a commander is got his shit together, forget it. Forget it. Like, an infantry guy who's already kicked some doors will tell a commander, hey, you're fucked up. You need to fix this.
Negative, Ramos. We've got this. Find a secure position and hunker down.
Bunch of douches in here.
And that's in order, Sergeant.
What I would suggest to you is if you're going to enter into an argument about this type of thing with guys, and you're a female, and you're supporting the female side, okay, I'd come with facts. Probably not name calling, because guys, I've already made my point very clear, and mine's absolutely from facts, so I don't need to bring any more. So you calling names just kind of makes you lose, like right away. That's like getting in a fist fight with somebody and they knock you out and you get up and go, bitch, and walk away.
Loud here.
Like,
I just heard about Ramos,
still
Captain.
lost.
Glad we reached him in time.
Have you seen Infinity War?
My people are getting into position to breach the hull.
No, I have. Oh, the
Agent,
Infinity
you're going to
War.
want to unlock the maintenance
No, I haven't
access.
seen it, no.
The building blueprints show a security control room
I've
down
never
in the
really
basement.
been all that big into the superhero flicks. Although I like the Superman movies, but I think that's because I grew up with the originals. Like, I was a young teenager when the originals came out, so.
Warning, now leaving the safe area.
I heard it was good, though. I heard it's getting really good reviews.
Now entering a safe area.
Probably wait till it hits Netflix.
Warning, now we're exiting the safe area.
I love having a gun again.
I am 34. I'm almost an old man. Oh, this thing's got a lot of side-to-side on it. Sound mid-20s. Appreciate that. I'm 34. 34? Yeah, I'll be 35 in June. Gets harder to keep up with the older you get. Oh, come on. Yeah, I just unloaded a full clip, didn't hardly miss any of it. How was I only at 60 stacks? Whoa, what the hell? Like, how did he shoot me from the side? I say he's 28. No, he's 34. He's born in 83. Nope, no kids. No thank you. No thank you. I am nowhere near a good enough person to have kids. Like, I'm one of those people that, like, I don't think... I would never tell somebody you can't have kids or anything like that, but my personal view on it, I don't think anyone should have kids until they are mentally and financially ready. In other words, until you can pay for that kid to go to college and you're smart enough to get them there, what are you doing having kids? Condoms are $1 a piece. Like... Would you date a black woman? You could probably ask the ones I've dated. They would tell you. Like, yeah, dude, I don't care what color. I really don't care what color people are, man. Like I said,
so far,
my stories before. That's just my experience in the military.
Reach the main hall on your signal.
That's all it is my experience in the military. I have no hate for black people. I probably have more hate for white people than I do black people, and I'm like Scots-Irish. So, like. Now, don't get me wrong, if I see a black dude and he's got his underwear sticking out and he's fucking walking around with his little bounce in his step like he a gangbanger and all that shit, it's not going to be nice to him because I'm not going to give him the time of day. But that has nothing to do with his skin color. If I see a white guy dressed and acting that way too, I'm going to treat him the same way. I'm going to treat you based on how you tell me you want to be treated. And a lot of that is from the military, because in the military you find out very quickly the first time. I remember when we had the talk about racism in the military and about how, guess what, black guys? You're not black here. You're you're green. You're a fucking soldier. That's all you are. Get over it. No more sagging your pants. No more gangbanging. Hey, white guys who are racist, get over it. There are no black guys here. They're all green. Like, you really start to get into that mindset where it's like, you realize that shit just really doesn't matter. Judge people for what they do, not what they look like.
Warning. Incoming hostiles detected.
I have a tasting woman. I like white. Alright, man, good for you. Like, whatever floats your boat, bro.
I'm impressed, Agent. Tricky assignment, but you did what had to be done.
Yeah, you broke their spine, kid. With the leader dead, the rest are gonna scatter.
I don't think we're quite done with them yet, but at least now we can get these JTF
Let's go do one
folks
of
back
these
on the
dailies
job.
and then we can buy two.
Oh yeah. I need my people alive and out there fighting the good fight. God knows we can't afford to lose any more personnel. I owe you, Agent. Hell of a job.
I gotta wonder, how did my channel get started talking about all this crazy stuff, man? We went down a weird road, y'all. I think we pissed off some chick. She's mad now. Whatever. I'm sorry if you get mad about that stuff. When are you going to stop this stream? I don't know, whenever I get tired of playing. I don't ever have like a set time that I play for. I just start playing, and if people are watching, I'll probably keep playing. And when I get to a point where I'm like, ugh, or nobody's watching anymore, then I jump off. What do I need? I need to go. We'll just go battle on. What's up, Godly? Just so you guys know, like, I see, like, you know, I can tell how many people are watching the stream, but, like, what you see on your screen, the big stuff on the right, that's all I see. So, like, I don't have a PC next to me running or anything like that. Like, this is just straight stream directly off of the PlayStation. So, like, I can't tell, like, who's here and who's not. I don't know who's actually in the comments unless you guys actually comment or anything. But I appreciate you coming back, man. Appreciate you watching. It's amazing, like, I think there's something about 20 subs. Because before I had 20 subs, like, my videos barely got any views. Like, I don't know if people just didn't want to see it or what it was. You know, I'm pretty simple stuff. I'm not putting out a bunch of colorful stuff or nothing. But ever since I hit 20 views, like, I don't know, my videos seem to get out there a little bit more. It's kind of like that's a hump or something. All this stuff. What do you do when you get off? What do I do? Man, video games is about all I do, really.
Please register with Dr. Ellis.
Like, if I'm not streaming Division, I'm streaming something else. Most of the time, man. I mean, I have a personal life, but, I mean, we're not going to talk about that. What do you... You have any dogs? Yes, I have a dog. I have a pit bull named Smokey. Which is a good question, because I wonder where he's at. I hadn't heard from him in a while. Usually he'd be bugging me by now. Oh, what is that? Come on. No classified. That's some garbage right there, Division. That, oh man. Is he aggressive? No, not at all. I don't think he is. Don't get bit, don't get me wrong. 600 pounds of pressure. Chop your finger right off, but he's nipped me a couple times. Like, just running my finger across his tooth accidentally will, like, most pits are mean. That's a total fabrication, man. Total fabrication. And I don't say that from a personal knowledge. My sister is a manager for a PetSmart in Fort Worth. And she used to be a manager for a Petco and stuff like that. She's been through lots of training with dogs. She's done the dog training thing and all that. And when I got my pit bull, when I was looking to get a dog and I thought about getting a pit bull, I said that same thing. Aren't they like real meat? She was like, no, that's the dumbest thing. People just say that. She said any dog is going to be what an environment creates. So, like, I treat my pit bull good. I'm nice to him when he gets in trouble. I don't beat him. I don't hit him. I don't, like, take aggressive actions toward him. But when I raise my voice, he knows I'm serious, and he knows he can go to timeout pretty easily. And he's a really good dog. Hadn't really had, like, any hostility out of him. So, yeah, don't believe that pit bull junk. I think the reason they get that is because if a pit bull does get aggressive, I mean, if he gets a hold of you, you're screwed. They don't lock their jaw. Like people say, that's another one of the misconceptions about pit bulls is that they can like lock their jaw when they bite. That's total bullshit. They don't do that. But they do have like, I don't remember what the actual thing is. I think the highest PSI for a dog is some weird like Cardula dog or some shit like that. And it's like 900, 800 or 900. And so like a pit bull has anywhere, like a baby pit bull, a younger one will have like 200 to 300 pounds of pressure in their mouth. A full-grown male, like dominant pit bull will have around 6 to 650 PSI, which can literally, if he bites down without even meaning to, he can take your finger right off. And so like, I think that's what scares people about pit bulls, is that if they do get aggressive, you better be able to control yourself. Like you better be able to think in the situation and be able to handle it, because otherwise, he'll kill you. I mean, it's just like, have you ever had a friend that, like, your buddy was, like, highly aggressive and, like, beat a lot of people up? Like, he was just one of those badasses. And then, but he wasn't like that with you. That's kind of what having a pit bull's like. I have a Siberian Husky. Oh, Jesus. That's a big dog. Does it have, like, the blue eyes and all that? I think, aren't the Siberian Huskies the big white dogs with the blue eyes? They're, like, pretty. They're, like, really, really pretty. Oh, I don't know what to do. Man, somebody list the mission y'all want me to run, because I'm kind of, my brain's blanking. I don't know what to run. Y'all can just, first one I see pop up, that's the one I'll go with. Yes. Oh, yeah. That's awesome, dude. I would love a Siberian Husky, but my place is just too small. There's no way. Like, my place is too small for this pit bull. I'm about to have to fence in my yard. There's no way I could have a Husky. She has blue eyes, and she is white. She likes to play in mud and get dirty. Well, yeah, she's definitely a dog. Mine eats poop. It's like the worst thing about him is, like, I don't know what his deal is, but, and not like his or anything like that, but like every time we go outside he wants to find, I have rabbits, like I said, I live out in the country, and it's like we have wild rabbits that just, like, they'll be out in my front yard, and so, like, he always wants to eat their poop. It's horrible. I have a turtle I found. I don't really like turtles. I don't know. It's kind of freaky. You live in your house. Like, you walk around with your house. Like, that's just weird. It's just weird. It's like they're smarter than we are or something. I don't know. Well, nobody's hollering anything, so I guess we'll just run Hudson. You know, I've been here about a year. I moved here from Fort Worth, from, like, Las Vegas Trail, like, ghetto Fort Worth, where, like, the prostitutes and the gangbangers and all that stuff are. Because I went through a lot of hell with the VA when I first came out of the military.
I want to stress to you the vital importance of safeguarding any civilians you may come across.
And
the map says some of those people
but it all
must
got
have survived the dollar flu.
And anyways,
that
but yeah,
means
I was living in, like,
antibodies
really
to it that
ghetto,
I need
15,
to have a
18
hope in hell of fighting
Lancaster,
this
Fort
thing.
Worth, which
And the ones who are just
I think it's, like,
having a
considered
broader
the
genetic
second or
diversity
third
of
most
virus
dangerous
samples will
place
help
in
us
the state
track
of
the
Texas.
virus's rate of mutation, which is a long way
Really
to say,
dangerous place.
keep those
Like,
people alive until I get what I
it's
need.
crazy out there.
Got that? Great.
I got really lucky that I was a veteran and I got to stay at the Veterans Homeless Shelter, because the PNC, which is the regular homeless shelter in Fort Worth, is like, man, it's dangerous in there. They have cops all over the place because, like, literally there's shootings every day. Like, the second day I was there, some dude got shot in the head like 3 times. They killed him, of course, you know, but they, like, overkill, shot him in the head like 3 times over on the train tracks right behind the PNC. Turned out he was a homeless dude I'd met the day before. Like, this shit is crazy. They get nuts out there. And it's just because, you know, when people
Agent,
don't have anything, nothing
Faye tells me the
matters.
cleaners are holding the entire Tent City prisoner. That's what it looks
I'm never
like,
going to
and it fits
Texas.
the cleaner MO. If you wanted to eradicate
you know,
every
I'm telling
last
you, it's just
vestige
like
of
anywhere
detectable
else, man.
virus,
You get the bad
where would you
and
go?
the good.
Wherever the biggest concentrations are. Refugee camps, shanty towns. Jesus, you don't think they'd... Draconian solution.
I will say you're probably more likely
if you're a
to get shot
genocidal maniac.
in Texas.
You ever wonder if we even deserve to survive this thing?
Because not only do we have the
Every
large
day, Doctor.
population of the
Every
gangbangers,
day.
you know, the Crips.
Good luck,
that
agents.
the actual gang is like nationwide Rip Riders, lost whatever Crips. They're from Texas. Like, This shit started here. And so, like, you gotta think, like, we have a very large gang population in Texas. And then you mix that with, we have more concealed carry individuals than any other state. Not to mention, Texas gun laws state that you can have a shotgun in your, like literally like in the window of your truck, just in the view of everybody, with no license, no nothing. You don't need anything special to have that. Well, I'm burning really easily too. I have like 50, 60 something % burn resistance. So yeah, I'd say you're more likely to get shot in Texas, but I wouldn't say it's any more dangerous. I mean, people could say what they want, and I don't want to get on this topic really, but if you look at like the shootings that have happened like all over the country, the only one that was stopped before it got any crazier than it already was in Texas. And that's because the dude had a fully automatic assault rifle, and the guy who took him down did too. So it's like, you know, that whole gun law thing, that's the reason Texas stands where it does, because we know the benefit of actually having them. And there's more good people that have them than bad, so. Plus, we have a very firm understanding of how corrupt most police departments are. And we just don't trust them.
Warning. Contamination levels.
And I don't say that as anything against police officers. Stepdad's Fort Worth cop. My mom was a 25-year Stanford Park River Road veteran for Fort Worth. My family is cops. My grandfather was Alfred Osgood, the head sheriff of Boston County from Meridian. So like my family's full of cops. But that gave me an inside point of view with them having every Sunday dinner with the River Oaks Police Department, and even the guys on duty would swing in and grab a plate and all this kind of stuff. I grew up doing that, like every Sunday. And the stories you hear when you get older and you start realizing what the actual laws are, you're like, oh my god, like, cops really are corrupt, like really bad. And it's not even like they're not even like the bad cops, you would say. They're just regular cops. This is how it works. Texas had Ebola. I don't know about that. I didn't know that. I watch Fox though, so who knows. And before anybody says anything, I do not watch Fox because I believe them any more than CNN or anything like that. I watch Fox because I want to be a positive person. And if you watch CNN, you're going to hear nothing but negative lies about the president. If you watch Fox, you're going to hear nothing but positive lies about the president. I'd rather hear positive, so I watch Fox. That is literally how I pick my news. It's pretty sad.
Warning. Chemical signature of explosives detected.
Confirmed. It's Napalm B, all right. With that much capacity, they must be planning to burn out the whole damn yard. And when they do, they're gonna kill every last refugee in that shanty town. We need that tank moved somewhere safe.
It's right, dude. We got so many people from all over the place. Let's see, we've talked about gun rights, we've talked about Kanye, we've talked about racism, we've talked about sexism. What's next, guys? Who else do we want to piss off today? Somebody's gonna be like, watch this stream later and be like, oh my god, I'm suing this piece of shit. Trying to think of what else is we got the border laws. What do y'all think of the border laws? Should we just open them up? Let everybody in? Fuck it. I smoke weed, so I say yes. You guys say, I say open them up. Open them the fuck up. Let's go. The governor of Texas going to annex Texas still? No, man. That whole thing, like, I think what you mean by annex is succeed. You talking about separating from the union? If that's what you're talking about, it's total bullshit. No state can actually succeed from that. Cannot happen. They could try and claim they do, and then they could default on their federal taxes and federal income and all that kind of stuff, and the government would completely wipe them off. Cut all government funding, cut all state funding, all that stuff would be gone. No longer give any representatives any power in congressional government. Like, it would be horrible if a state actually tried to do that. Texas, it's not about being big enough, man. I mean, I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head, a really small country. But there's countries that aren't even as big as Texas.
Sarah JTF strike force ready to
So
move
it's
in.
not really about
They'll take
size.
samples from as many refugees
It's about
as they can find.
location. To become a country, you
couple
have
of
to
EMTs
deal with
in
the
the mix,
countries around
Doctor?
you. This is
Yes.
why South Korea is
A
doing what it's
couple?
doing right, or not
As in
South Korea,
only
North
two?
Korea is doing what it's doing right now. It's because
The
they're
rest
quickly
are first
realizing,
aid
oh shit, if
certified.
China pulls their
They know how to
funding,
tap a vein.
we have to
Get
have
going,
we have
H.
to work with the other countries around us, and so that's why this is happening. It's not really Trump.
I assume.
He'll get the victory for it, and more power
Or
to him because he
infecting
was willing to
themselves.
put his balls on
Yes.
the table and take a chance.
I'll take your word for it.
But really, that's what's happening.
Thank you.
Is China cut their funding,
moving, Agent.
and do you believe in God? Wow, brother. You guys are just trying to take it to the extreme today. Depends on what you mean by God. If you are talking about that mysterious imaginary friend that a lot of people have, no, not even a chance. I was a history major in college. I know where those books come from. I know who paid for them. And that is the most important statement. I know who paid for them. If you're asking if I believe that there's a creator, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I don't believe in in something from nothing. I don't believe in magic. I believe science can explain everything, as long as we understand the science. And so when you ask me if I believe in God, I think when you look at the universe and the planets and all that good stuff, even with as little as we know about it, we know it's freaking huge. We know that it's so big that we don't have it's not even about having the capability, we don't have the mental inspiration to even figure out how to travel to our like farthest planets in our galaxy, in our solar system, excuse me. So like, we know this thing's freaking gigantic, and I know you got these flat earthers and all this shit now. These people are idiots. They're just idiots who, they were probably like anarchists in high school who never got over it. Maybe somebody picked on them or something. You could be a history teacher. I was a history major in college, man. Texas Wesleyan University. I've studied a lot of this stuff. And at Texas Wesleyan is actually a sister school to TCU, Texas Christian University, which is the TCU Horned Frogs, one of the biggest colleges in Texas. But what's important about that, it's a Christian school. Religion classes are mandatory. So I took Religion 101, Religion 102, and then that's all that's mandatory is 101 and 102 with any bachelor's degree. But I took 103 and 104 just because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I couldn't believe like how different actual, if you believe in facts, what we believe the facts to be compared to what religion says. And it's just so insanely different. And then the Catholic Church hasn't done themselves any favor because they keep changing their opinions and opening themselves up to things that, like, they were completely like, this is a total sin before. Like, it's just nuts. And I'm sorry, the minute you change your religion, it's no longer a religion. Like, it's just something you do. It's your belief. It's your opinion. Because that's kind of isn't that the definition of religion? Is like, it's given down by a higher power, you don't get to change it. Oh my god, come on! What the hell, man? Jesus. Do you watch football? Man, you guys got questions. You could be a history teacher. I appreciate that statement. I actually do. Because a lot of times I get people just go, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay, well, what are your facts? What do you got? And that's where it kind of ends. It goes in. So I appreciate that. Do you watch football? I'll answer in a second. Do you speak any other languages? No, I took 1 day of Spanish in high school and quit. I was like, I don't want to do this in the first place. And when I saw like what it was, I don't know, my brain just does. It's because of me. I'm stupid. I just couldn't wrap my brain around it. You sound like a redneck. I probably do. I'm from Texas. I've grown up here my entire life. Now the question is, what is your definition of a redneck? Is it someone who talks with a slang and maybe has ridden a horse before? Or are you saying you sound like you're a dumb asshole who beats his wife and does nothing but drink beer and fuck little kids?
Agent,
depends on what your definition of redneck is.
Drop
man.
that tank someplace safe.
If it's the first one, where it's just you're from the country and you have slang, then yeah, I'll take pride in that, I guess. It's the other one, well then you get a big old fuck off. Really drink Bud Light, chew on tobacco, and watch NASCAR. I hate NASCAR, dude. Fuck wants to watch people drive in circles. That shit's boring.
That should do it, Agent. Solid
I do
work.
love beer, though.
Yes, good work.
And
now, sample
I don't
team,
dip
listen
anymore,
up.
but I used to.
Like I was saying,
So
I'm
I
going to
guess,
need those
you know.
blood samples labeled
But then again,
and
I
organized so we
rode
can track
bulls when I was real
corroborating
young.
factors. Let's
Like,
move
I
this
was a
discussion
shit
to a
kicker,
different
you know.
channel so we don't bore the agent.
Alright, let's go buy another cache. This one better actually give us something, because that last one was crap. Alright. I'm from South Carolina. I have no type of accent. I bet you do. Like I said, I lived in South Carolina for like 2 years. And in Chirac. And they had crazy accents, like worse than mine. You probably just don't notice it because you're around other people. Like, I don't notice my southern accent around other people here, of course. But, like, if I go to Wisconsin, like, my brother's up in Wisconsin. And if I go up there to visit, like, yeah, people will make fun of me. They'll say, they'll be like, who? And I'll say, y'all. And they'll say, who? Like, I appreciate that. 16. I think accents are cool. Like, honestly, like you were, well, one of y'all was talking earlier about like what type of women you like or whatever, which I don't know where that came from. But, that's one of the things. Like, if I meet an Australian chick, she got an Australian accent. Oh, that'll melt me like butter. I love an Australian accent. Blonde hair, blue-eyed Australian girls, like that's my crack. You want a southern accent. All you gotta do is say y'all instead of you guys. Like, cause see down here, and I know it's just the southern, like, I guess probably what you said earlier, redneck, but down here, if you like walk up to some dudes or whatever, and you're like, hey, what's up you guys? Like, you're gonna get laughed at. Like, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Oh my god, it happened again. It happened again. What the hell? Hey y'all. Yeah, that's all. Well, there's a apostrophe after the A, so it's like Y''L''O. Y'all. You guys is like very New York, like New York and gay people. Those are the people that say you guys down here. You guys. I can't even say it without like being whiny. You guys. What's up, y'all? Yeah, see, it's more manly. It's it's that what's that stuff that the media or the left wing's like really trying to get rid of now, the whole masculinity thing? That's what it is. New York, New York. You guys make hot sauce, right? Do y'all have those commercials, I wonder? The Pace Picani sauce commercials that are like, I'm from New York City. I wonder if y'all actually even get those. Y'all might find them offensive. I don't know. Maybe that's just a Texas thing. We get these Pace Picani commercials, and it's this dude, and he's like, this is really good sauce. He's like, he must be from Texas. He's like, no, I'm from New York City. Go, what the fuck? I don't know, I guess you gotta see it, but it's pretty good stuff. Ugh, all this junk. I can't believe it did it to me again. I find southern accents a bit sloppy. Not to be rude, it sounded like southerners shorten they words and make up 2 words. And make up words, okay. I mean, I guess so. I don't know, maybe. I mean, here's the thing, though. There's a couple different types of Southern accents. Like, Texas seems to have, like, we say, you know, y'all and stuff like that. But we're, like, we have, like, kind of a, I don't know how to put it, almost like a dominant accent. Like, we want to, like, express our words. But it's still country, so there's still slang in it. And so you get, like I know a lot of times I'll talk kind of fast, and then all of a sudden I'll slow way down to say certain things. And I'm not doing that on purpose, it's just that's the accent. But if you go over to, like, Louisiana and, like, closer over towards Florida area, their accent is completely different. And actually, once you get over by Florida and, like, you start heading north up towards, like, the Jerseys and all that shit, it just changes completely again. And that's all considered Southern accents, so I don't know. Because I dated this this girl from, she was a Jersey girl who was from Florida. It was fucking weird. And she had the craziest accent. Because it was like a country accent, but very, I don't know, city-ish, I guess, or something. What was that? Exotic. I don't need any of that crap. But yeah, I don't take offense to that. You know, it is a bit sloppy. It is, I don't know about, okay, you're saying not to be rude. I would say I don't think we're rude. But yeah, we're a bit sloppy. We kind of throw shit around. Shorten the words and make up words. I don't know about making up words. I mean, I'm sure we have just as many made up words as made up words. Trailer Park Boys going on here, made up words. I guess we do. Do Texas people call up North people Yankees? Yeah, but it's just a joke. Like, if we won't use it as like a cut down. Like, I'm not gonna be like getting in a fight with some dude and be like, you fucking Yankee. Like, if I'm like, you fucking Yankees, like, I'll say that. Just like, if like it's a Texas thing y'all don't understand, then and I want to make fun of you for it, then I'll say like, you fucking Yankees. But it's not like a bad thing or anything. That's just like the hillbilly thing. I think a lot of it has to do with who says it to you. Like here's the deal. If you guys call me a hillbilly on here, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, you don't know me. You don't know what I look like. You're going off of my accent. I get it. I sound kind of like a hillbilly. It makes sense. On the other hand, if I'm like out on the street and some gangbanger black dude calls me a hillbilly, I know he's being racist. I know he's sectionalizing me, and you might just hear the N-word. Like, because I'm going to spit it right back at him, because that's what he's doing to me. And so it really depends on who it comes from, of whether or not, you know, stuff like that is actually racist or not. It's all in the intent, man. I have black friends who have asked me to call them the N-word. Have been like, you can say it, dude. It's not a big deal. Just say it around me. And I'm like, nah, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Like, if I say that word, it's negative. Like, I mean it because I'm trying to hurt your feelings. Or I'm trying to get you in a fight, whatever it may be. That's the only reason I'm using it. I'm not going to use it as a friendly term. And you know, they try to get through to me about that, but I don't get it.
Here are my prayers.
Have hella homosexual population.
I got to eat hot food again.
I think, yeah, well, Austin, yeah, there's gays, fags, homos, whatever you want to call them. I don't give a shit. I don't agree with it. I'll give you my 2 cents on that very easily. I don't agree with it, but I'm not going to say anything to them. I believe people can do whatever the hell they want.
So with the LMB crippled, what's next?
I know that there's a lot of girls that I won't have sex with because I'm pretty sure they got STDs. And I know that the majority of the STDs in our country were spread by gay people. And that's not my little gay phobia or nothing. There's interviews with John, what's his name? The keyboard dude. He wore the round glasses, John, whatever his name is. I forget his name. There's an interview with him, and he's like one of the most famous gay people ever. And he's like, STDs in this country are our fault. And he explains how promiscuous they were in like the 60s and 70s and stuff. And he's like, that's what did it. He's like, gay people.
What's going on?
I was like, oh, okay. Well, they're straight up admitting it. So I have an issue with that, maybe, but you know, when it comes to the actual gay people, I don't hate on them. I don't really have anything against them. People can do what they want. But on a personal note, I don't agree with it. And I do not think people are born that way. That's a total garbage. And I say that from personal experience. My brother is bisexual or whatever. And he was in no way that way when he was younger. He was actually one of the best, I don't even know how to put it nicely. He could get girls, like, no problem. My brother was awesome at that. He went gay, turned bisexual, because he was in prison. He spent like 18 years in prison, and he came out bisexual. And I've had the conversation with him, like, are people born gay? And he just started laughing. He's like, no, that's the stupidest thing in the world. He's like, you can be attracted to anything, but if you're born with a dick, that goes in a vagina. That's how it works. Like, so, yeah. Yeah, right? That's my point of view. I know people don't, some people aren't going to like it. Some people are going to be like, oh, that's not PC. Well, fuck PC, because I really don't care. I believe in science. Like I said, I also believe you can do whatever you want. So if that's your thing, go do it. But don't tell me about it. Like, there's no reason I need to know about it. Did he get assaulted in prison? I don't know. We never talked about that shit. I never asked him why he went that way. If it did happen, it would have taken more than one of them. I'm the little one in my family. My brother's like 6'6" and weighs close to 300 pounds. And he is... He's just scary looking. He's covered in tats and all that kind of shit. He's just a scary looking dude. You hadn't showed up, things might have gone very different. So if it did happen, it took more than one of them. So, I don't know. We never had that conversation. And I wouldn't ask him either. Because he went to jail for some bullshit. Yeah. He did the assaulting. I don't think so either, because that's the other thing. I used to beat him up. He's not really a fighter. He will, but he's not like an aggressor. He's a big old teddy bear. He's one of those big old teddy bear guys. He didn't go to prison for some mean shit. He's just one of those big teddy bear dudes who looks mean. And when he was 18, he got a 17-year-old girl pregnant. And in the state of Texas, that's statutory rape. So, yeah, he went to jail on some bullshit.
This is a lot more fun than I thought it would be. Can't believe it's gotten so out of control.
Oh, they must be upstairs. So, I don't know. We didn't really talk about his trip to jail too much. But we did talk about the gay thing. And that was what he said. He started laughing. He thought it was the stupidest thing that people were born. You'll have $100,000. Yeah. I told you guys this chat is kind of going all over the place, man. I mean, that's fine. I like talking to you guys. I'm having fun. I see people are coming in and leaving a lot, which tells me some people are getting offended, but hey, you know, anyone is welcome to share their point of view, and I'm not going to block it unless you start trying to start a fight or cursing out people or anything like that. So you can put any point of view you want up there. If you absolutely hate black people, go ahead and put it up there. Just remember, your name's next to it. I don't even know where I'm at. Oh, I'm holding it like I'm playing Destiny. What the hell? We just finished Hudson, didn't we? I don't really want to do Lincoln Tunnel. It's all that distance crap. I don't want to do that. You feel once you go gay, you can go back straight? I mean, I completely do. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so. I'm saying no to Uncle Guther's thing. I would say yeah, because I don't think that gay is like a thing you are. I think it's a thing you do. And so if that's what you're into, if you're into it your entire life, okay. If you're into it for a summer, hey, do your thing. I mean, yeah, some people are going to judge you on it. Some people are not. Some people are going to judge you on if you change. If you're like, well, I tried it and I didn't like it. Some people are going to be like, oh, you're a quitter or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I don't see there's any reason. Like, if one of my friends, if like one of my best friends came to me and was like, hey, like last summer I did some stuff and I just got to get it off my chest, but I'm not that way and I want to do something. I don't think I'd really hold it against him. I mean, I might make fun of him next time we were drinking. I might be like, don't look at my ass, bro. Like, if some shit like that, I'd give him a hard time, but I wouldn't, like, judge him. I wouldn't, like, stop being friends with him because he went and did some shit. Really? See, I don't get that. I don't know, man. Dude, there's people out there. Like, here's the thing. Your straightest buddy. Think about this. Your straightest buddy is most likely the guy who fucked the pie. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but think about it. You're the guy in your group of friends who's like the most alpha male, the most, oh, I get pussy and I'm always doing this and that and all that kind of shit. That's the guy who's been horny since he was like fucking 5 with nothing to put his dick in. You're telling me that dude never fucked a cantaloupe? That dude never fucked a wet toilet paper, whatever it may be. He's into some weird shit. I guarantee it. So when you look at somebody who's like, you know, you did whatever and you did a gay thing or something, I don't think you can judge them for that. Because the guy who's judging them is probably into even weirder shit. So, I don't know. That's my feeling on it. I honestly can't say. I've never been attracted to anything but women. And so past that, I really can't, you know. I try not to judge people on it. I have my own beliefs on it, but I try not to judge people on it. I could have made moves on a girl, but I get nervous. I'm a 19-year-old. Jesus Christ, bro. Yeah. I mean, actually, dude, here's the thing. You don't even realize how lucky you are, Prodigy. You have no idea how lucky you are. Because there are some women out there who have spent their entire lives. I hope you like MILFs, dude, because if you like MILFs, you can get your life paid for. There are MILFs out there who have spent their entire life focused on their career. They didn't follow the guys, they didn't get married, they didn't have kids, they didn't do any of that stuff, and so they now have their career, they've made it, they've got themselves financially stable, they don't have to depend on a man. A lot of times these are women who are beat by their dads or like just not shown attention or stuff like that. There's a lot of mental stuff that can go into it. But these women, you're what they want. They want a young virgin who they can have all to themselves. Bro, you are in like the best spot. If I was 19 and still a virgin, oh man, that would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. Man. You need to go hang out. You need to hang out, like, figure out where the school teachers are hanging out, dude. That's what you need to go hook up with. They'll teach you something. I dated a Plano school teacher back when I was 19. She was 32. And that was one of the best relationships I ever had, man. She was awesome. Now, I wasn't a virgin at 19, but I wouldn't look down on myself for it, bro. You're just not finding the right girls, man. Some girls find shy guys attractive. You never know. You just got to find the right ones. I'm giving this dude woman advice over the internet. What the hell? Understand anything I say should be taken with a grain of salt. Like, I'm just as much an idiot as anybody else. I'm just running around. Like I said, if you guys want to see an actual mission, just tell me what you want me to run. Otherwise, I'm just running around. I'm kind of enjoying the conversation, so I don't want to focus too much on nothing. Honestly, if you want to break that shy shit around girls, if you're really having an issue and it's really bugging you, the best thing you can do, I'm telling you right now, the best thing you can do if you're having problems talking to girls, you're not going to win it. You're going to go home alone. Understand that. That is going to happen. She is going to say no and you may even get hit. Walk up to the prettiest, hottest, finest girl you can find. And there's a point to this. She has to be like overly hot because she's got to be the type of girl that most guys would not have that. Walk up to her, literally. No smile. You can't be smiling. She can't think it's a fucking joke. She has to think you're absolutely serious. You're going to walk up to her, and you're going to very calmly and collectively ask her if she'd like to go back to your place. Nothing else. Don't give her any reasons. Don't, kinda, sorta. Don't use adjectives. Women don't like adjectives, man. If you gotta describe some shit, then she can't figure out for herself. So literally, just walk up and do that. You're either gonna get a hooker who's gonna take you home, or you're gonna get smacked, or it's gonna go horribly wrong. The movies are not real. You walk up and say that to a girl, it's probably not gonna go well. Do that. Get that out of the way. And that way you know the next time when you walk up and just introduce yourself and say, hey, what's going on? I saw you from across the room. You caught my eye. I'd like to get to know you. What's your name? And give her the opportunity to say whatever. You know that even if it goes bad, it can't go as bad as that last time. You got to get the rough one out of the way, bro. Number 2, my only other piece of advice, I'm not going to keep ranting about this, but my only other piece of advice, keep the virgin sit to yourself. You don't want to meet a girl and like within the first 5 minutes be like, yeah, I'm a virgin. Because if you do, then she knows right away that your entire life is based around that. And she's not going to want anything to do with it. If she finds that out later, after she's already like found that she likes whatever about you, then you might find that it's actually a good thing, that she thinks it's like a sweet thing, you know. Girls are much more accepting once they've accepted you. So, there you go, buddy. I'll stop there. I'm not going to rant on. I'm no sex guru. I have no idea. I've had my share of ups and downs with both. So, you just got to get out there, bro. Black women are harder to deal with. I don't think so. I disagree. I totally disagree. Black women are the easiest to deal with. At least the ones I dated. Because all they wanted me to do was keep my mouth shut and give it to them when they wanted it. That was it. That's all black women. I've dated 3 black women. 2 really, one of them not really so much because she was really a white girl who just happened to have black skin. Like she was a cheerleader who, like, she even talked like a blonde girl. It was crazy. That's actually what attracted me to her. She was sort of exotic, but that's all they've ever wanted. Is just keep your mouth shut. Don't say stupid shit.
Why are you loitering out there?
And then take the charge and be the man when they want you to. It's that simple.
What's going on?
I find white girls to be a lot more like, they're very picky and they need you to be this way or that way, or you gotta change this or that. If a black girl sees something she don't like about you, she'll tell you right then. You either get rid of that shit or you get rid of me. It's that fucking simple. Like, they tend to be a lot more straightforward. I'm speaking out my ass here. I mean, this is totally just my experience. I don't know. It could be different for every single other one. Yeah, Guther's kind of, he's out there. Unless you have a BB. Oh, shit. See, that's a myth too, man. That's a myth too. I was in the infantry. I've showered with tons of guys, including tons of black guys. On average, there's no fucking difference. There's really no difference. Yeah, there is going to probably be that one black guy with, you know, a third leg. We had a couple guys like that. But there's also a couple white dudes with a third leg. Like, there's no difference, man. I really don't think that's a thing. I mean, maybe the overall majority is more in black guys' favor, but overall. Yeah, there you go. It is. It's a stereotype. It's completely a stereotype. And it's funny, too. It's actually, I remember Walter, that same guy I was talking about earlier, the little guy who got me through basic training. You know, in the infantry, guys get nasty, right? Like guys get in fist fights while they're naked in the shower. I mean, it happens. So, like, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah, we're having some crazy conversations. But it's funny to see, like, black dudes who, like, maybe have never had to take showers with a bunch of other dudes. And they walk in and you realize that that's the whole stereotype. The big dick thing is a stereotype. And you can see the look on their face. It's like, motherfucker, you look just like me. Like, what the hell? I think it's kind of funny. I don't know. Alright, let's change the subject, guys. I don't really want to have like a 2-hour stream about black dudes' cocks. That's not cool.
yourself ready!
How much the JTF can do? They're all gonna pay, as far as I'm concerned.
Boss right over here somewhere. Maybe I'm not. Oh no, hell no, I'm nowhere close to it. I gotta hit here and then move that way. Alright. About 6 sides. Yeah. that's kind of what was going down. I don't know how it got there, but you know, Division. Some nasty stuff happens on Division.
New York City from east to Hudson and Bronx to Queens and all the garbage.
You know, when I think back though, Division really kind of has been the game where like you just matchmake in with randoms and you end up having like really weird conversations about crazy shit. Well, I think I missed that.
What are you giving me grief for?
Uh-oh! Uh-oh! What we get? What we get? I can't look right now. It's still shooting. We got a Tommy gun. How shitty is that? Damn it. Tommy gun sucks. Oh man, with really bad talents too. Jesus Christ. And it's a 264. Yeah. We had Nat Tor shit. I'm 18, but I can blend in with middle schoolers. Okay, wait a minute. I can't go back through the comments, but 16, aren't you the one that said you were like a 19-year-old virgin? And you said you were 5'5", 150-something pounds. You are a dude, right?
That wasn't too hard.
Because it sounds to me like you need to find a... No, he's not. Am I mixing up? Oh, that's you. Okay, my bad, Prodigy. Alright, okay. I was like, things are starting to make sense. Like, what? My bad. 5'5", look like a middle schooler, a virgin. Yeah, okay, I get it. Like, that would make sense. That I would understand. But, and I'm not trying to make fun of nobody. I tell you what you need to do though. You need to go get into like MMA or something like that. You need to get something that gives you an alpha edge. That's what I recommend to most guys. Like, guys who, not even just, you know, guys who are having those kind of issues, but like guys who are depressed, guys who like, I don't know, if they just don't have the motivation, fuck all those pills and all that bullshit. Screw all that. Go get your ass kicked. Literally. Go get involved in some MMA and shit like that. I was an assistant instructor for GFT in the Army. For the infantry and then the Marines. Marines would come to the infantry to train GFT. And the difference in someone who has no fight training and has never had their ass whooped in that sense, not a street fight where somebody got a lucky shot on you, but where you literally figure out like when people know how to fight, they can beat you up if you don't. It's not a luck thing. Once you get past that, there's a certain, I don't know, it gives you a bit of freedom. Like when you talk to other guys, you'll have like, you'll find you're not thinking so much about who's bigger, who can beat who up, or any bullshit like that. That shit just kind of goes away. So I recommend that for most guys, especially guys with chip on their shoulder. You got a chip on your shoulder, go do some MMA stuff. It'll help you out. It really will. Alright, I'm getting mixed up. I have feminine characteristics also. Prodigy, I bet you're just a pretty little son of a bitch, aren't you? Yo, can I add you? Yeah, anybody can add me. Please make sure you sub. I usually don't beg for subs, but I notice the more subs I get, the more people watch the videos, and that makes it, if people are actually watching, I stream more, so it gives me a reason to do it. You can add me. I don't add any friends. You can look at my friends list on here. I don't think my profile's hidden or anything. There's a reason there are 0 friends. I don't put any friends because I don't want notifications in the middle of my streams. And I don't do like co-op streams or any of that stuff. Wait, what do chip on your soldier me and... Wait, what do chip on your soldier mean? I think that's what that's supposed to be. No, I mean like guys, if you get some of these guys who like... Look, like I'm not a big guy, but I'm a bigger guy. One of the things I have to watch out for everywhere I go is little dudes with small man complex. These little guys who just because you're bigger than them, they think they've automatically got to like talk a little shit and try to like buff their chest up and all that kind of stuff. Here's the thing, size matters. I'm sorry, size matters. And if a guy feels like you're pressing him and he has that kind of size on you, he's liable to fucking deck you. Especially in the world I live in. Like guys out here, they don't play. Like so we don't talk that way around each other. And a big part of that is like a lot of the group I hang out with is ex-11 Bravos, ex-Marines, ex-snipers, ex-police officers, like guys who've they've already proved themselves combat-wise. They've already proved, okay, you got a big cock swinging around. You know, I'll hit you with it. Like that's once you've gotten past that, there's a whole nother level of friendship you can have with people where you don't have to worry about that kind of shit. Like don't get me wrong, fight can still break out, and when it does, it's 1,000 times worse. But it's just a lot less likely to happen. I don't know how I got on that. Oh yeah, because what is the chip on your shoulder? So yeah. So what I was talking about is when I run into those little guys, I wish those little guys would go do some fight training. I really do. Because you never find them. Like you find little guys doing fight school, but they're cool. They're cool as fuck almost every time. Like especially the little guy, because he's already been taught his lessons. And he may be getting real smart, like guys like Matt Serra and guys like that who are UFC fighters who are little bitty. But they'll beat the shit out of you. And it's because they already learned those lessons, and then they learned how to fight. And if you watch the interviews with those little fighters, they always seem to be like the coolest people. And it's because they've gotten past the chip on their shoulder. And that's what I mean by that. Is some of the coolest dudes, it's just they got a chip on their shoulder, and they got to get past it. And that either is they need a group of guys or one dude who's badass to just beat the shit out of them and get it over with and hope that gets it in their head. Or they need the type of mental evolution that fight training gives you. It's not just about beating people up or defending yourself. It's about the mental aptitude that it gives you. So, there you go. There's my 2 cents on that.
I know there's something in here.
I see red. Female character. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Prodigy, I like you. I don't know why, but I like you, dude. You're alright. It may be because I have no threat from you at all. Because you said you're a 19-year-old virgin with female characteristics. And I'm a 6'2", 180, 190 pound infantry guy. Yeah, not real scared, but I think that's a good thing, bro. It's a good thing. I think we're kind of on 2 different ends of the spectrum, which usually equals out into pretty good friends. I know some of my best friends have been. One of my best friends is like a flamer. It's this guy Terrell. It's a black dude I know from Dallas, and he's one of the coolest people I've ever met. And he's 10 ways to gay, man. And he lets everybody know it. But he's also one of the coolest dudes I know, and like he's like real soft. Like when I say soft, I mean the only thing that keeps this dude from just being a girl is the fact that he's swinging.
That was some nice work.
And believe me, Terrell is swinging. He will fucking show you if you try and call him out on it. But yeah. So I don't know. I think there's something too like that I don't mean it in a negative way, but that feminine type of guy, it's much more easier for like an alpha male to get along with. Because, I mean, in a way, you're kind of just talking to a female you don't want to fuck. Like, that's kind of what it's like. It's like, I don't know. I'm probably just spitting out my ass now. I got so many conversations going on at once, I don't even know what I'm saying. You gotta talk about guns now. Oh boy. Oh boy. Why would you want a 22? Are you a hitman? That is the only thing a 22 is good for if you're a hitman. Because if you shoot him in the head, it won't go straight through. It'll rattle around. You're much more likely to get the kill. Otherwise, 22, you might as well just get a fucking BB gun. Glock 17. I would go with the SIG 45. And a Glock will jam. No, boy. Why do you think SF changed from the 9mm to the Glock 45? There's a reason they did that. It's because the Glock actually jams a whole lot less than the 9mm does. Glock, you can drag that bitch through the desert, through the sand and shit, and it'll still fire. That's why they consider that's why the sidearm is considered the officer's best friend. So yeah, Glocks are actually really good. I mean, it depends on what maker you get it from. Oh well, even then, because you know, military goes to the lowest bidder. So we get whatever the lowest bidder can make.
What's that? Might be a blanket.
Glocks are too popular.
Great, get it. I'll keep watch.
I mean, if you're trying to outgun, it all depends on the situation. Like, are you talking about concealed carry, like what you're going to walk around with? Because if that's what it is, I recommend 357 snub nose. 100%. 357 snub nose. It's not going to jam. You're going to put a barn door in anything you hit. Not to mention that thing is like, even a snub nose like point barrel is like the size is huge. And so you're going to scare the shit out of anyone you yank it on.
What the hell is your problem?
And if you miss, the sound of that thing is, yeah. I always laugh when I see these females who've like been to their CO classes, their concealed carry classes, and all that shit. And then you look at the gun they have, and they'll have like a little pea shooter. And I'm like, what are you going to do with that? Have you ever seen someone get shot? Because I have, and you better be hitting them with something hard. Otherwise, they're still coming. If they're running into your bullet in the first place, they don't give a fuck. Do you carry your shotgun in public? Can't carry it in public. In Texas, you can. You can walk down the street with a shotgun in Texas, 100% legal. Now, you may get a disturbing the peace if you're walking in a neighborhood that ain't yours and the neighbors report it and all that kind of shit. But it is 100% legal to open carry in Texas. There's certain weapons you need a license for, but there's a reason that like you see those, when the liberals had that whole standoff and they said it was the KKK, like Nazis showed up armed and were like, there was that big fight thing. Those were not Nazis. They were not KKK. I mean, some of them were assholes, but some of them were just, they're this, I'm not defending them, I'm not part of them, I don't even know what they're called, but they're like a white power group. They're not against black people, but they kind of believe the same way that the guys who believe in black power believe, but they believe it for white people. They think white people should run the earth. They think white people are better and all this kind of stuff. It's just the opposite. That's all it is. And the reason they were able to walk around with M4A2s and shit like that is because Texas is an open carry state. No, it's not Aryan Brotherhood. I have Aryan Brotherhood right down the street from me. Literally, one of their higher-ups lives literally right down the street, like 3 houses down. I've never met him or his family. It's some old dude. The only reason I even know is because they have the Aryan Brotherhood shield on their front gate. And it's like, I didn't know what it was, and my neighbor told me, he's like, oh yeah, that's one of the higher-ups, don't fuck with them. Like, all right. Which, like I said, I've never even talked to the dude, so. I don't know anything about him. I don't know. I don't know what an Aryan Brotherhood stands for. I don't know what... Here's the thing, man. Let me put it to you this way. What if I told you that the Muslim Brotherhood, that we're seeing Al-Qaeda and you know, the jihad and all this crap, all this stuff that we're seeing now from the Muslim Brotherhood is actually Nazis? What if I told you that? No, it didn't start in prison. I'm about to tell you exactly where it started. I was a history major. I've actually written a full bio report on this actual thing. So, the Muslim Brotherhood, the reason that I call them Nazis and this entire thing is just Nazi propaganda, it's still going, it's still Hitler's war, still happening. There's a saying among history members that if you look back in history, there's a guy called the Grand Mufti, and he was the head of the Muslim Brotherhood. He was also one of Hitler's best friends. Hitler gave this guy an honorary SS unit. He couldn't give him a real SS unit because he wasn't white, you know, he wasn't the premium race or whatever. But he was friends with him. He also gave him his own radio station, which the Grand Mufti of the Muslim Brotherhood used to go on and tell people to kill Jews on sight and stuff like that. But what I was getting to is there's a saying amongst history majors that when the Grand Mufti left, Germany and he went to Cairo is where he headed. That's where he escaped us. They say he escaped. We let him go. We had him. And we let him go because we were so focused on Hitler. When he went to Cairo, he took 2 books with him. He took the Quran and Hitler's Mein Kampf. That's a saying in history because it's real. His teachings were of Nazism. The beginning of Al-Qaeda is the Muslim Brotherhood, which was started as a honorary Nazi SS unit. So like the whole thing is all Hitler. That's what we're still dealing with. So when you say like the Aryan Brotherhood, are they Nazis? Well, I don't know. Or are they Nazis? Are they racist or whatever? I honestly don't know. I don't know anything about what these groups stand for now, because it's probably completely different than what they stood for 50 years ago. The Muslim Brotherhood is just a very blatant example of that. Hitler was close to taking over the world. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He wouldn't even... Hitler... I recommend anybody, even if like it just, you want to throw up every time you even hear this guy's name, I recommend people to actually look up the real bios on Hitler. And not his, this is why he's in power and what he did to the Jews, so you can watch all this video of burning Jews. That's horrible stuff. Nobody needs to see that. It's bad enough that it happened in the first place.
Look at you, trying to be so brave.
Go watch the Hitler, biographies. You can watch the movies, most of them are pretty correct, about when he was younger, before he took power and how he took power. And then you'll understand why I say, nah, he was nowhere close. Oh, that's not an enemy. He was nowhere close to taking over the world. 99% of the world just thought he was crazy. That's why they didn't even get involved. They figured he'd just be wiped out. They didn't realize how much power he'd actually accumulated. And that's why we ran into a big problem, is we underestimated the shit out of him because we thought he was just some loony. But, yeah. Hey, 016, I think you better check your math on that one. How can America lose a war that only America is fighting in? Gettysburg's a civil war. You're going to have to go back a little bit farther to 1812. And 1813 type frame. And even then, it was little battles we lost. We're sitting here free today because we won that war. Jamestown, 1890. Jamestown. That's, you're still looking at the British, man. That's oh, I keep mistaking. Unless I'm getting my dates wrong. No, yeah. $1890 Jamestown. Yeah, what are you talking about, man? 1890 Jamestown. I'm trying to put that date in there. I'm like, why does that date go in there? It doesn't make sense to me. Because you really have two wars going on at the beginning of the country. You have the early 1800s, and you're looking at like the French and Indian War, which is like, actually had nothing to do with Indians, really. It's us taking on the Brits. And then you have, which many consider to be a war, but it was just us taking over land. And I have a very screwed point of view on this, which I should probably just keep to myself, over taking over land and whether or not we kick the Indians off and do we owe them anything and all this stuff. I don't think these people know how history works, but what did you learn in history? Well, 1890. I'm trying to think of what was going on in 1890. I mean, you're literally talking about like 20 years before Jamestown, 30 years before Jamestown. So it's like, I don't know. I think I might be messing up my dates. Hold on. I might. You guys got me all fucked up now too. You guys are screwing me up. I'll tell you in just a second. If there's one thing college teach you, if it doesn't teach you the information, it tells you how to find it fast. Okay, what do we need? We need dates on wars is what we need. Okie dokie. Okay, yeah, I was messing my stuff up. I was thinking 1965 was the Civil War. What the hell's wrong with me? 1865 Civil War. So yeah, 1890 is like way off, man. You're headed in like 1890s, like the Spanish-American War, like headed towards like World War I type stuff. Because World War I was at the very beginning of the 1900s. Yeah, okay, so War of 1812, you're looking at 1812 to 1815, and that is our war with the Brits, right? My history teacher only taught slavery and laws. Oh, man. Yeah, you can't, I mean, Uncle, you can't, I hope that's cool to call you that. I don't want to say Uncle Gunther every time. You can't really blame him for that, though. That's not really his fault. Like, I remember my last semester of college, they were changing the curriculum, whatever the hell. And even some of the stuff that they were literally changing the facts of history to suit a more PC type of view. And I know a lot of us history majors at Wesleyan, we actually did a sit-in about it to try and get them to stop, but no avail. But, you know, people want to rewrite history, man. I think it's smart. When you look at the way history has been recorded, these people that are like, okay, all this bad shit happened in history, let's lie about it now and see if we can't get it written differently, so in 1,000 years when they look back at it, they'll think it was this. They're really smart people, actually, because they know how history works. Nothing you read in a history book is absolute fact. There's very little chance that any of it is absolute fact that we know. I mean, it could be real, and the facts that we have might point to it, but there's so little. If you're not talking to somebody who is sitting right there and who you know for a fact will not lie to you. This is why we don't know much of shit about, like, the Civil War or, what do you call it? Well, the Civil War, for an example. Here's something you can do. So if you go look at the actual brutality of the Civil War, is insane. It was insane. There's a reason fixed bayonets is a joke. But if you look at their literature, look at those letters that those guys were writing home. This is the main things we have to tell us what was actually going through their minds, what it was like for them. And their letters are like, "Dear Cynthia, it was the day on a dark and stormy night." And like, it's all poetry. And so it's like, what? You can't really get a gist of what they were going through. So it really makes it hard on history majors, especially, to try and like say, well, this history's right, this history's wrong, because we don't know how many times it's been changed. Just like the Bible. I love it when people are like, well, God wrote the Bible. No, he didn't. Constantine did. Like, and people go, what? That's bullshit. Really? Go look at history, because that's not even that old. Like, that's blatantly recorded history, was that Constantine paid to have the Bible written in certain ways, to put certain things in it and to leave certain things out. And that is the King James version that everyone uses today. Like, it's kind of crazy. Freedom of speech, right to bear arms, freedom of the press. You know none of those are real, right? Like, none of those are real, because there's restrictions on all of it. There's absolutely no such thing. It's like equality. These women that are like asking for equality, I'm like, why are you asking? That's not how equality works. There's no equality between guys. When I meet another guy, I don't go, oh, he's male, he's equal. No, I don't. I go, can I beat this dude's ass? And if I can beat his ass, he's going to do whatever the fuck I say. I'm going to run that shit. That's just the way it is, because equality is not real. It's not real. And so when women are like asking for equality or saying they deserve equality, I'm like, you sure do. Put your fucking fist up. Because the minute you're ready to fight for it, you can have it, just like the rest of us. Because men don't get it unless we fight for it. Sorry, y'all. That's a little rant. That's just how I feel about that. I'm a very opinionated dude, I guess. But yeah. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that like men should be able to just like boss women around because they're strong. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you want to get paid the same to do a job as me, you better be just as big, physical, and strong and able to deal with as much as I am if you're going to make the same money as me. Plain and simple. Equality through ability. Do you listen to rap? I listen to everything, man. Everything. No, it's not. No, it's not. I thought it was too, man. I would have agreed with you, especially with Eminem pulling his garbage with the whole Trump thing. Look, I'm not a pro-Trump guy, but I'm not an anti-Trump guy. Like I said, I watch Fox not because I believe their news, but because they're at least positive. Eminem came out with that bullshit. I used to be a huge Eminem fan. I tracked him since fucking Vicodin, since the beginning. And you know, I always felt like Eminem was like the white people's rapper. Because I'm sorry, if you put the N-word in your song, if you put any language in your song that I can't sing with in public openly without having to worry about being shot, that music is not for me. It's not for me. So Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, all these guys, I like their beats. I like the tones of their voice. I like listening to their music, but I can't. Because the minute I hear the N-word, some shit like that, I'm like, I'm out. That ain't for me. It's not for me. It's racist music. It's not for certain people. It's very sectionalized. It's racist. That's the definition. Is to segregate by a specificality. That's what racism is. And so to me, most rap is very racist. And then this is all they can sell. Okay, well, it would have been Uncle who did that. Uncle, I think you're gonna be that guy that we have to just be like, hey, you gotta forgive him. He's that guy. He's saying that shit. He got no filter. Oh, but what I was saying, though, is I found a new one. If you haven't heard of him, and he's a little bit on the gangbanger side, a little bit more than I would like. Eminem was like, part of what I liked about his stuff was he kind of kept it like, he kept it white. I hate to put it that way, but he kept it white. Like, it wasn't gangbanger shit so much. I mean, it turned into that eventually. But especially his original shit was just like, hey, I had a rough life, my mind's fucked up, I do drugs, like, this is what it's like. And so, like, for us white kids who grew up in, like, you know, rough areas and stuff, like, we got it. And it was like he spoke to us. His whole Trump thing, and, like, he's, like, anti-white person now. Listen to the actual lyrics of his new song. This dude is anti-white. I'm like, whoa, okay. Never mind, bro. I'm sorry. The minute you tell me that just because I'm white, I got to bow down and kiss some black dude's ass, fuck you. Fuck you. Let him earn it the same way I did. I ain't have no slaves, and I don't know what the fuck my grandparents did. I was adopted. I don't even know what my... I don't have a clue about my grandparents. Nah, man, I smoke green. That's it. I don't fuck with none of that hard shit. I like to think I'm an intelligent smoker. Like, I'm an intelligent addict. Like, I smoke weed, and I don't believe in gateway drugs. I think that's a total falsity that people give to people to tell them that all drugs are bad and all drugs will ruin your life. And I get why they do that. You don't want a fucking 14-year-old even getting hooked on weed. It's going to fuck them up. With that said, there's no such thing as a gateway drug. Yes, I am really adopted. I was adopted when I was 1.5. But no, I don't think there's anything I don't think gateway drugs are real. You have gateway drug dealers. No pothead goes to his dealer and says, you know, I've been smoking weed for a while. I think I'm ready to move to crack. Like, that's not fucking happening. It's not happening. He goes and goes, hey, do you got any dro? Like, that's it. That's as far as that shit goes. Maybe some oil or something. That's it. It's all the same stuff. What's actually happening to these people is they get on pot or whatever, and pot doesn't really harm them. They don't have any problems from it. So they start getting this thought in their head that drugs are okay, and they're not. Weed can be just as much as alcohol can be. It's about the same thing. So what happens is these guys go to their dealer and they go, hey dealer, I need a dime bag or whatever, and the dealer goes, oh well, I don't have any weed, but I got this coke, and it'll hold you over until I can get you some weed. And so the guy goes, okay, and he takes the coke, and now he's hooked on coke. It's not a gateway drug. It's a gateway drug dealer. And this is why they need to legalize pot. Bring me to my little rant. My little, try to think, my little sponsorship of legalization. They need to legalize pot, because as soon as they legalize it, nobody goes to drug dealers, people can keep that shit in stock, nobody uses the other shit. I mean, some people will, but that's because they got hooked on it right away. They're not going to go through pot to it. A 15-year-old gave you money to buy him a pack of cigars. Would you buy it? No. No. Not at all. Because when I was 14, my adopted mother started buying me cigarettes. I started smoking pot with my adopted mother when I was 13. When I say I'm from, rough, I'm from rough. And, we were pretty much treated as adults from the time we were, 13, 14 years old. I could drink beer. I could do whatever. Like, my mom, she worked at a gas station. She would bring me home a case of beer every night. I was an alcoholic before I was 16. It was nuts. I graduated high school early because I threw a desk through a wall. See, nowadays, when kids get all fed up with the people around them and they get all mad, they shoot up schools and shit. When I was a kid and I was in school, you tried to fight the teacher. That's what you did. That's what I did. I tried to fight a teacher. And he wouldn't fight me, so I threw a desk through a wall. It wasn't that big a deal. It was out in the ag barn. It was a sheetrock wall. And I'd have beat the shit out of that teacher. You might say that, dude, but in high school, I was 6'1", 170. And this teacher was 5'5", maybe 160. I hit my growth spurts when I was 12 years old. And just I shot up over 6 foot and haven't grown since. I don't know what happened. Not to mention back then, they knew where I was from. They knew, I was one of the rough kids in the school. I grew up in rough areas. I had parents that really didn't give a shit. I could do whatever I wanted. I mean, hell, my mom, we had a big airfield across the street from our house. It was for the rich people that lived in the area to fly their planes. And the poor people lived right on the airfield. Or right off of it and shit. So we had planes, we'd hear them all day. These little, just 2-jet engines and stuff. 1-engine jets or 2-engine jets or whatever the hell they are. And we used to have our fights in this airfield. So if you got in a fight in school and you didn't want to go to ISS, it wasn't bad enough that you were going to handle it right there. You'd be all right, meet me in the airfield after school. If you were a lake rat and you lived out by the lake. So that's where all my fights happened. I remember my mom sitting out on the porch smoking a blunt, watching me beat this dude's ass on the fucking airfield. And that was my mom. I look back now and I'm oh man. I asked the older guy to buy me Battlefield. He just walked away. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get why you do that, because you're asking him to take a pretty good chance. You got to understand, For you, if you got caught like doing that, the cops are just gonna be like, you're not allowed to have that, bad for you, and they might tell your parents. For that guy, like, I totally get it with cigarettes, like you guys asked about cigars and alcohol, I totally get it. I would never buy a minor any of that shit. And it's not because I don't think they should have it so much. I mean, I don't. I started smoking, like I said, when I was like 13, 14 years old, and I still smoke, and I'll never give it up. And that's because I've convinced myself in my mind that even though I am addicted, and I know I'm addicted, I don't smoke because I'm addicted. I smoke because I enjoy smoking cigarettes, and I just, after you've been through the hell I've been through, I don't really give a fuck how long I live. I'm just trying to enjoy it while I'm here. And so, like, it really don't matter to me. But I wouldn't want a 12-year-old thinking that same way. But moreover, it's the trouble, because while it's just a slap on the wrist for that 12-year-old who gets caught trying to get somebody to buy him that shit, the dude who gets caught buying that shit for him, that can be jail time. That can literally be jail time. I don't know about video games and parental advisories. I don't know. I doubt it's jail time. It's probably like a ticket or something. But I understand that thought process of why should I get in trouble to help you get something you're not really supposed to have it. Like butter, yeah. Are you talking about like butter? Because I know who you're talking about if you're talking about that person. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to. I don't know what happened to him either. Like he was getting really big on YouTube. If you guys are talking if you know what I'm talking about. He used to be real big, but he's like falling off. I think the same thing happened with Skill Up. Oh yeah, I back 1.3, like 1.5 area. Like butter was the man, dude. Everybody was watching his shit. But yeah, like I said, he fell off. I don't know where he's at. I don't know what he does now. He probably got a deal. Like it probably gave him a job. Because Division, you know, that's really what Division did. Division blew streaming into like this entire different thing. Get on Destiny. I actually think that's not a bad idea. I might do that. Do you have GTA? Yes, I have GTA. I'm not playing GTA. I have just about every game you're going to think of. 90% of them I don't play because I just don't like them. That's like when you asked me when I was going to get off the stream and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm 34 years old, dude. I'm a disabled veteran. I'm not allowed to work. I've been marked as unemployable. And so literally, but I'm supposed to like stay away from civilian population as much as possible. And so I literally play video games all day, every day. And like the whole stream thing is really the reason I was like earlier, like I don't give a fuck about sponsors or anything like that. I'm not going to change the way I talk or anything like that. Is because I don't do this as like a job thing. I do this like, this is my way of like hanging out with people without actually having to fucking deal with them. If that makes any sense. Like this is my therapy, really, in a way. So that's why like you'll see me on video games like all day, every day. You know, I felt the exact same way, dude. When my commander came to me and was like, hey, because I was on medical leave for a shoulder injury. And I didn't realize that the Army had gotten paperwork from the VA saying that I had PTSD and dysmorphia and all that crap, which preludes being an officer. Which when I first joined, I was enlisted, and I did about 3.5 years enlisted, tour in Iraq, and then came back and went something called Green to Gold, which is where you go from enlisted to officer. And so I was doing that, and that was when I was going to college and all that stuff. And when they came to me and told me you've been diagnosed with PTSD from the tour in Iraq, the VA says you're unfit and all this kind of stuff, and they've got you marked unfit, they pretty much laid it all on me at once. Like, dude, you're done. Like, you're done. They called it a sacrifice. I just thought I was another soldier. Like, I had no idea that I was messed up. And then I was reading on Guther's comments, and I got lost in what I was saying. Oh yeah, when they came to me and told me that, I was like, that was kind of my first thought. Was like, holy shit, are you serious? Like, I got the glory wound? Like, I loved my career, but the idea that I was going to get paid and get to retire at 30-something years old, like, that was insane. And I didn't realize I was in for a 6-year fight with the VA and all that kind of crap. Like, it went bad real fast, but at the time I thought it was real great. Well, after a 6-year fight with the VA and all that craziness, I finally got all my back pay, my full disability, all that stuff. So, like, I bought a house, I bought cars, all that good stuff. And I was like, this is what I can do now. I can smoke pot and play video games all day, every day, and not have to do anything else. And I've been doing it for about 1.5 years now. And I'm fucking bored, man. It really gets boring after a while. It really does. You mind if I ask how much you get? I get enough. I get, I'm not making bank. I'm not getting rich or nothing. I only get I didn't claim anything I couldn't, that they didn't say I had. So I get 70% disability. You're welcome to look that up and see what it is. But I also get unemployability, which marks me up to 100%. So they have charts on that that'll show you exactly how much I'm getting. It's not hidden. I honestly don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to go look it up to see how much exactly it was. It's enough that I quit looking at my bank account. Because I don't buy anything. I'm not out buying fur coats and fucking crazy expensive stuff. You know. I have no interest in, like, going to Disney World or sightseeing or going to Vegas. Or that's part of, like, you got to understand, like, when you get paid, like, when the government is actually like, yeah, okay, you're disabled, we're going to pay you. And they stop arguing, it's because you really are. Like, you really don't give a shit about any of that stuff. I don't care about money. I really don't. I don't. You could tell me tomorrow that you're going to give me a check for $2 million. Guess what? I'll probably still be sitting here playing this stupid shit. Like, do I have Fortnite downloaded still? I do have it downloaded, and I have never started it. And once I saw what happened with Ninja and all that, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't have any interest in it. I don't know if you guys know about that, but if you look at the details on that Ninja dude, on what happened with him, that motherfucker got bought out, like, straight up yanked. Like, the video game companies are treating him like a big old hoe.
Looks a little green, but
like, that's not even his real username. They bought that for him. They bought him Ninja just so he could have a cool username. Like, something's not right. Nobody gives away shit for that for free. I honestly don't know everything they do. I can't remember off the top of my head. I actually watched a whole YouTube video about it. It's on YouTube. You can just look up the history of Ninja. Like, how did he get to where he is? And there's some very disturbing stuff that was going on between him and some of the video game companies that sponsor him. Like, they were giving him stuff that they just don't give YouTubers. Like, you just don't get these huge giant. They totally just like he was a pro sports star or something. It was crazy. You know who Alex Texas is? No, I do not. I've never heard of him. Oh yeah, you were asking if you want me to jump on Destiny. I got 4 people. Here's the thing, if I jump on Destiny, it's going to kill the stream. Like, because as soon as I kill the game, like I said, this is straight off PlayStation, so if I kill the game, it'll kill the stream, and I can open it back up, and I'll go run some Destiny for a while, but you guys got to tell me that's what you guys want. Like, at least there's 4 of y'all. If 2 of you, I already got 1. If anybody else is like, play some Destiny, then we'll go for Destiny. And I'll consider that a majority. Just keep in mind, it's going to kill the stream, so you guys would have to come back into the stream. Like, I think, actually, if you just stay on the channel, I might actually just pull it back up. I don't know. I've never viewed my channel, like, as a regular sub. Stay on Division. Okay, okay. Well, I don't see anybody else asking for Destiny, so that's what we'll do. Stay Division. You know what, I've got a couple of y'all on here, and I got comments going. I've been asking if there's any games that, like, people actually... Like, what do you guys like to see streamed? Because what I'd like to do is find a game that I can really get into, that I have fun playing. I'm not just going to play something. That's the whole Fortnite thing. I'm not going to play Fortnite. There's nothing about that game that I'm like, oh, I really want to play that game. So the only reason I would play it is because you guys were like, we want to see it. And there's so many other people playing that shit that it's like, eh. So if you guys have like any ideas, games, even certain ways of playing games that you guys want to see, or like that's the type of stuff you want to see when you log into, I'm mixing my words, I'm sorry. Let me just put this plainly. Put in the comments what you guys actually want to see. And not specifically right here, but just when you're like, oh, I'm going to watch, you know, some stream. What is it you guys are looking for? Like, what specifically is like, okay, well, when I watch a stream, I'd like to see this, this, and this in a stream. If they have these things, you can kind of do whatever. Play Rainbow Six Siege. Nope. Nope. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Yeah, that's the only other rule is no multiplayer. Like PvP type stuff. I'll do multiplayer stuff. I'll run, you know, matchmaking and shit like that. But I don't do any like PvP, me against some other dude who's gonna nut stomp me and like beat my ass just because he can afford better internet. Like what the fuck? And it's not even that he can afford better internet. It's just his area offers better internet, or he's closer to whatever server they have us on. Not to mention, some of these guys have figured out, especially on Call of Duty World War II, there's guys getting in trouble for this right now. They figured out how to destinate servers, so when they log on, they only go to certain servers that are in their area, and then they can actually block out everybody else from that area. So the only people that get into those servers are people from areas outside of that server that are like blanketed from other servers. And if you know anything about servers, you know everything I said wasn't just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. That could actually make sense. It's one of the big problems. Is that they can choose their own server. In other words, you can put yourself in a server where everybody else is going to lag. Give yourself even more of an advantage. That's why I quit playing that game. If you look at the very beginning of this channel, that's mainly what it was. Was like all I did was like Call of Duty World War II. And I started, the farther I get, and I'm like, I've prestiged like 5 times. I think I'm actually level 55, about to prestige for the 6th time or something like that. And finally, like after that much playing, I was just like, oh my god, like this is really, like I'm not just being a noob who's like, oh I suck at the game and I want to bitch about it. Like this really is a problem. And that's when I started realizing just how bad it was. Because I started opening up my mind to it and not just blaming myself. Because I didn't want to be one of those guys who was just like, bitching and crying because I was dying and I wasn't any good. Like, I wanted to make sure I put in the time or whatever. Play Last of Us 2. I don't think I have that. Last of Us? Isn't that one of those cartoon games? They did the Walking Dead games like that. If it's one of those, nah, I'm good. The whole, like, moving picture type games, I don't really like those. I like more realistic type games. But, I mean, I'd probably turn it on because you're asking for it, but I don't even think I have that. I don't have Last of Us. I'm pretty sure I know what it is because I think I've seen it in the PlayStation Store, but it didn't. I saw Tall Tale Games. That's what it is. Well, now I will tell you guys a game I've been thinking about getting, and you guys can give me your input, and because if I get it, I'll stream it. Is Dying Light. It's like a parkour type zombie killer. And it looks kind of like it might be, I don't know, I need to look more into it to see what it is. What is going on here?
What they're doing to them. These people are crucial.
What am I walking into? What is this? Oh, it's a thingy. Well, fuck it. Let's go see what happens. See if we're gonna get our ass kicked. Okay, why is that not giving me stacks? I was hitting them in the knees. Oh, I'm glitched. Look, I'm glitched. I'm not even healing. It's glitched out. Son of a bitch, Division! They really need to fix their servers. They really need to fix their servers. And I say that with absolute certainty. because when I first started streaming, I bitched about this kind of stuff a lot, about the lag and like, especially with Striker not healing the way it's supposed to and stuff like that. And I had people telling me it wasn't their servers, it's not the game, it's you. It's because your internet's garbage. And so I said, okay, so I looked into it. My internet, I had like a 50 download and 5 upload. So I was like, okay, well, I thought that was really good, but apparently that's garbage. And so right now I'm running 150 download, and the highest they would give me to upload was 7 point something, which I still couldn't get an answer out of them why that's like as high as they do. But and it's still lagging. So it's not me. It's their internet. Or their internet. Their servers are garbage. What is this? Is this this? Am I doing a damn, what do you call it? I am, aren't I? It's an incursion. I didn't even know I was doing an incursion. Think I can survive it? I doubt it. I don't even know how to do it. I've never done this one. I know these shotgunners are shooting in tandem on purpose. Oh, I know why I never did these incursions. There's no point in doing them like regular like this. Yeah, I'm not gonna get anything. And then they're way too difficult to solo on challenging. Like, I know people can do them, and if I was really into this game like I used to be, I'd probably try and do it. But I asked for, yeah, see, we're glitching out. I mean, this part is easy because
Look, hook me into their security cam.
all right, well, everybody left.
Find where they're keeping our
I'm
people.
leaving too. I'm burnt on Division. I was waiting until y'all left, so. Holla!